Hello, welcome to episode. I have no idea. It could be 24, it could be 25, it could be 26. We'll figure that out
Who gives a
later.
fuck?
And nobody gives a fuck. You're not supposed to do intros. I like to do them because I'm like a radio head, you know what I mean, from back in the day. I used to listen to DJs all the time and fall in love with their voice.
You listen to
um,
Sonia Z, but you're not gonna be
see,
sleeping. Yeah.
you have a good radio up all night. Um,
Yeah.
But welcome to my guest, without further ado, the very
Hello.
funny, talented, charming, hilarious Bobby Jaycox.
Thank you so much. All of those things are fucking very accurate and true to say to me. Thank you.
I was gonna get a soundboard, but I didn't have time today to get
I,
in the background. Yeah.
yeah,
Um
some soft claps, some jazz claps. Just okay. Nice. Well, yeah. Well,
um
good to catch up with you. We've been trying to catch up for on this for a minute, and it's been my bad. And then we both got sick.
we both nearly died in the same week.
You sound like you might have had it way worse. I'm a guy, and so it's hard. I feel like guy we complain anyway, but like I literally was just like I could get around and do stuff, but I was blowing my nose. I just surrendered and blew my nose into t-shirts. I was just like I have so many
I've done
boogers
that.
coming out. It feel swear to God, and then the next day just fucking wash those bitches. Fucking yes. I honestly, even Kleenexes aren't soft enough for me now. And then, but I'm poor, so I use toilet paper, and it's the same stuff I wipe my ass. That's no bueno.
No, and I even get like the mid-level decent, like I've been spending more money on toilet paper as an adult. That's like an adult thing.
You know what's funny? I can't figure out, and I've spent a lot of money and a little money. I just can't find out what doesn't give me fucking hemorrhoids.
Well, that's rubbing too hard.
Is
Pushing
that
too
what it
hard.
is?
It's pushing too hard,
And
I
I
think.
I push too hard, I rub too
That's
hard.
what it is.
But I've picked the
Pressure.
bears before. I've picked the angel, and I always feel like they leave a lot of
Bears.
lint.
They do
I've
leave lint. Sometimes we have a bidet at my house,
Yeah.
so
You want to know something weird I do like? I hate the worst toilet paper, that really thin kind.
oh, that's like Scott.
It's so bad, but what's good is it is so sharp. If you have to itch your ass with toilet paper, it's like fold up. You're like, oh, you think you bitch. It's so nice.
Sharp.
It's
It's
so
like little
sharp.
mini razor blades.
Yeah, it's you're like, but you get that itch where you're like, I need to go take a shower. It's dry. I got dry poop back there.
I've never had hemorrhoids yet myself.
Oh, I feel like I'm sponsored by them.
I have heard Big J say on the bonfire back in the day that as soon as you start to feel one, you just pop a finger up there and just push it back in. I don't know if that's true medical advice.
I kind of ignore my asshole. I kind of assume it's like kind of like a trash can at like a rich person's house. It always stinks, and you're just kind of like, we just don't really fuck with it. We take it out when we have to. We don't clean. I mean, I take as good care of it as I can, but I don't. If I have a hemorrhoid, it just all of a sudden I wipe, and I don't know who's still listening, but I will wipe, and then it looks like it just looks like I a blood. It's just blood. I have no way to describe a big spot of blood.
If anything, my brother's probably listening, and he loves like poop.
Here's the thing. I'm not. I mean, obviously, I'm weird with like. I mean, shit is disgusting, but
Everybody poops, dude.
if this, dude, if this is weird, me and my ex, I swear to God, if one of us was leaving and the other one was shitting, either way, the other one would like knock and you'd hold your breath and you'd come in and then bye on the toilet, shit kisses.
I'm trying to think if I've ever done that with the exes I lived with. Maybe
Yeah,
I had 2 7 year where we lived together for 5 of those.
yeah.
So
Well,
there
also,
had to be a.
yeah, and you have pheromones. When you like someone, you're like attracted to their smell. I don't think you're gonna like the smell of their shits, but I
Oh.
think if you can handle their BO and their shits, that's real love. Like when someone has BO and you're like, I don't care. Like that's
Yeah,
love.
yeah.
Yeah.
That's tolerance and acceptance. And
Do you care about shit? If a guy wants to shit around you, do you
guys
get
have
you
to shit. People have to shit.
That's how, yes. I think it's funny. I love farts. The only farts I don't like is if you fart and then like you have to acknowledge it and it's always funny. But like one time my ex, we were sitting there and she just farted like, and then like kept sitting there and I was like,
Didn't say
oh,
anything. Like didn't make
yeah.
fun of it.
I was
You
like,
go,
that's insane. That's psychotic
look,
behavior, in my opinion.
I like if I burp loud in front of my grandma, I go, oh, excuse me. Like it's just like
Well, yeah, your
whatever. I'll make
grandma
like
for
a.
sure. Yeah.
But like I
Meemaw
don't
can't
know.
hear burps and farts.
She was like, I did the same thing. Don't worry.
Yeah.
All right, so that makes me think you brought something up to my memory that I was kind of gonna say anyway was Bobby, your name. Are you so I did one of those 2 7 year relationships was a Bobby.
You dated
Not
a Bobby?
I dated a Bobby.
Well, and I'm not saying this just to be like self-deprecating as a comic. I sincerely think Bobby is such a. It's just not like it's. Luckily, I'm a comic, but I don't like Bob. Like no one's ever like, oh my god, did you see Bobby? Like it's not like a. It's not like a sexy name. It's like, and you when you're in a couple, it's never like you have like such a beautiful like Sonia is such a cool name, but it's like you never you'd be like, oh, did you see Sonia and Bobby? Like it's such a. It's just a. It just sounds like a sound when people are pretending to like do an impersonation, and they're like, did I say that language right? Like I have no idea. But my buddy dated a girl named Bobby, and I was like, when you guys are having sex, do you ever say like "Get it, Bob"? Like he was like, I've never thought about calling him. But what did you call him? Did you
Bob.
call him? It was a Bobby
It was
or
Bobby.
Bob?
He was pretty much Bobby or Bob to everyone. He was not Robert because that was his dad. Now, is that your story? Are you just named Bobby? Are you Robert?
No, we're all second generation. I feel like the ones that are around were second generation
Second
Bobs.
generation. Yeah.
Yeah, so I'm a second generation. I'm not a junior. We have different middle names, so people always be like
Okay.
junior. I'm like, no. But when I was a kid, I was little because he was Bob, so I was always little Bob.
The big Bob and little Bob. That's what they were.
Yeah, and then eventually you're like, all right. And then I remember I do. I just thought about this. Whenever I like signed up for stand up, I was like Bobby Jaycox. And then like on like the third or fourth time, I remember I was like going to write my name, and I was like, you know what? I'm Bob Jaycox. And I wrote my name down, and all these comics in the back, oh, so many comics that I'm still friends with today, they were like, all like, had seen me maybe like once or twice at the Funny Bone. And the guy who was going to bring me on stage goes, hey, are you trying to like go by Bob or Bobby? And I was like, I think I'm going to go. And I deepened my voice because I was 19. I was like, yeah, I'm trying to go by Bob. He goes, yeah, we all voted. You're a Bobby. Sorry, man. And he just brought me on stage as Bobby. But I have some girls that I grew up with, like they'll call me Bob. I have some people call me Bobby. Some people do call me Robert. I just feel like Robbie is the only one that doesn't. I don't identify as a Robbie. I don't feel like that one
Robbie is
fit.
a specific. No, that's
Yeah,
specific.
Kool-Aid stained lips, kind of like owes people money. I mean, I owe people money, but not
Well,
like in
look.
the amount of Robbie would.
No, no, Robbie's not the same. That's not interchangeable with where
Yeah.
Bobby.
Yeah, and
Um,
also, and I'm not trying to. We don't have to talk about this if you don't
no,
want.
I
I'm
had
not
a
trying
whole
to talk about
bunch
your
of
sex
stuff.
life.
No, I had a whole bunch of
I
stuff
want
about
to keep.
Bobby that I wanted to
No,
talk
but
about
well, I mean
specifically, like the
specifically
name, the
with
name.
sex. Did you like say his name out? Because Bobby is not a sexy name to
Oh no, I
say.
don't think I ever did.
Yeah, you have to be like buddy. You have to be get it,
Yeah,
buddy, or
get it,
get it, pal.
dude. Yeah, I
Uh-huh.
I don't
It's such a yeah. It's not
remember.
a good name. Yeah, and what? So you would call like when you were mad? Did you call him a different name, or was it Bobby still?
I think it. I was mad all the time. Bob. I feel like Bob. I feel like Bob.
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 Yeah.
It's more serious. That's what I mean. It's like Bobby is like they're infantilizing you for your whole life by doing that to you when you're a kid, and it just becomes your name, right? Because like I
Yes.
I had a nickname.
Yeah.
I don't know if I've ever brought this up on the podcast before. I'm trying to think, but it was gonna be my name. It was gonna be my full name. My mom wanted to name me Sunny.
Hold on. Everyone's coming home. They're
I
probably gonna
see
do
that.
drugs. Hey,
Yeah,
will you
yeah,
shut my
that's
door,
fine.
buddy? What's up? Hey, this is Zach Bukovich. This is my roommate. You can come say hi
Oh,
real quick. This is Zach Bukovich. This is Sonia's podcast.
hello.
Hi.
Hi. How are you? Hi.
You're doing like what a 4-year-old would do. You're doing what a 4-year-old would do on a Zoom call. He's like,
I thought it
hey,
was your dog. I thought it was your dog you were
hi,
waving to. Hello. Hi.
hey.
Welcome
All
to
right.
the
He does have a dog
podcast.
too. All right. All
Okay.
right. Get out of here, dipshit. All right. Go do drugs. All right. I love you. All right.
All right. My Bobby used to kiss men. What is this? he
I'll
had
kiss
long
men. I don't
he
care.
had long hair when we dated, which I hated because I liked wearing my hair long, but I feel like I have to have a pixie cut when a guy has long hair.
And well, and when I used to have short hair, I would always date the girl. Whenever they date me, they're like going through something, and they're like,
You
"I'm gonna
heal
get that
people.
pixie cut." Yes, I think I
I
do.
do. I do.
Yeah, yeah, we both have that thing where someone dates us and we're like, "You're welcome."
Yeah, they're like, "Oh, you met your husband now, your wife, whatever."
Yeah, yes,
Perfect.
yeah. Like
Perfect for me.
what's that Dane Cook movie, Good Luck Chuck or
I
whatever? It's like,
used to joke and say I was going to make a movie called Good Luck Chick
yeah.
at some
Oh
point
yeah, switch
because
that
that's
shit up.
literally been my whole life is they get like literally the next person a lot of people date will date them for that guy dated somebody for 12 years after me, the Bobby, and then I've had people get engaged and within a week.
Yeah, I guess I don't have that specifically. I feel like I used to have that more, but now like I will still get to where it's like I feel like they date me and it's a phase. Like and then after like I dated this the last girl I dated, she was like, "Hey, I don't shave my legs or my armpits," and I was like, "I don't care. I wouldn't fucking want to shave my legs or armpits." And then but it's just so it is so oh fuck, I just lost my train of thought. I was because I was gonna say something fun. I couldn't help but think whenever we had sex, I did one time tell her, I go, your leg does look like my dad's. And I couldn't help but say that. That's a very real thing. But after we dated, she like I feel like she was going she like didn't shave her arms and legs. And then I saw a picture of her and she was like with a guy and totally shaved legs. And I was like, oh, so I
Hmm.
get the leg hair,
I
which
deal
I
with the
don't
hairy
care.
legs for you.
Yeah, I just which I'm
I
fine
put
with. I
up with
like
it quietly. I
yeah, you
tolerate it. I'm tolerant
yes.
and I'm an ally and I
Yes.
touched it and grabbed it and didn't
I'm here for
care.
you. I'm here for you, girl.
Bobby's an ally, ladies.
I am, and I've dated lesbians, and I know that they're bi, but like this girl was a full blown lesbian. She was like in a relation. She had a wife, and they have a kid, and she's like, we're every once in a while I'm allowed to be like open if the guy's cool. And I was like, I wonder why she likes me, and it's probably the long hair. Like I'm like, you know how to do this. You have to hold my
I do.
hair back this time, though.
Yeah,
This is
that's
crazy.
you know, that's so funny because I'm the same way. No
Yeah,
wonder I
but
liked
yeah,
a
I don't think you have
Bobby
to get.
with long hair.
I do think when you see people, two people with long hair, you are like, oh, okay, what are you dirty freaks doing? If you're like two people with long hair, you're like, how dirty are your feet, you hippie dips? Yeah. So how long
Excuse me.
did you date Bobby?
That was a 7 year person.
What?
Yeah.
That's legally married, I think. Isn't
It
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 if you
used to
like
be considered in Pennsylvania, there was a thing a million years ago called common law marriage that was recognized if you lived together, I think, and cohabitated for that long and shared the bills and had all this evidence that you were, but that was done away with a while ago because I used to work in real estate in this
well
state.
yeah, and they realize everyone's poor, so it's like everyone's gonna can't be married.
Yeah, they're just
Like
going to be like, well, I just get their work benefits now. Like
yeah, I'm married to
I get their
Zach.
house when they die. That's the biggest thing
Yeah,
we dealt with at my old job is people would think that they got their husband's house and they'd be like, well, he left me. We were married. And it's like, no, you don't own this house because he
it's
didn't
common law.
put it in. Yeah, it's not real. It's not a real thing. It was just like that it was still existed, people thought for a long time, like 20 years after it had expired. It was
Yeah,
just
and I just trust people when they say shit like that. They'll say it, I'm like, I bet that's true, and I never look it up.
I do it
Any
occasionally, but I've learned to kind of research since I've seen some shit.
I know I really do need to research stuff, but like I'll hear someone say something and then I'll repeat it, and everyone's like, "That's
The
so wrong." I'm like,
worst. I've
"Fuck,
done
you are
that.
pretty right."
I'm
Fucking
guilty.
yeah,
Guilty of
that's
myself. You got to
yeah.
check everything because they just see a headline. It's like, and I went to media communications journalism one time for one of my, like when I tried to go to school, and I was like, it makes you open your eyes to like, you really have to check because
Yeah,
it's designed to just catch people's eye. And like, they don't even read the first three sentences. They're just
yeah,
like, oh, I saw this headline that says
yeah.
whatever.
X,
Like,
Y, or Z. Yeah,
and
that's
it's not
crazy.
you go to it and it's not even like a real like when you get fact checked on Twitter. I refuse to say X, it's Twitter.
Well,
um
yeah, yeah. It's also I also did you try with Twitter?
I've been on
Like,
Twitter for a decade. I just
yeah,
just
I would like
hang
try it,
around
and then
over
if
there.
yeah, I just feel like anytime I was gonna write something, I was like, I'll probably just do this on stage. And I always like got on there a little bit, but people were like, Twitter's over, and I was like, I thought Twitter was over. I didn't know we were. I had no idea we're
um
still. Do you get on Twitter a lot?
I'm on all the social media sites except Threads, just because I feel like it's a record of what I've said. And I have had a couple tags or like openers to a joke that I've later formed parts of that I've posted. And if I get like 11 likes on something, it's going to work on stage.
That's not a bad thing too. Yeah, testing out material is cool because it's a different audience. Yeah,
It's a
yeah, yeah.
different,
You're right.
couple, like a lot of local comedians I follow. So if someone likes it, it's worked for me.
Yeah.
Now I've seen people miserably fail with that and try to show up at a show with something I saw them tweet that day. It's like,
Man, but isn't there's nothing worse and better when you're like, I think this is so funny, and then you go on stage and you're like, I was so motherfucking wrong. It was crazy. Like when you have that confidence, and then afterwards you're like, oh my god, me and myself did not know what we was talking about. It's so funny. It's so fucking funny. Oh my god, I do like trying something, and the only time I care about like a real bomb, I feel like I don't know if you're this way. I feel like the only time I care about a bomb is when literally they are just staring at you. But if you can tell that they're just not vibing with your jokes, I don't care. But it's different than them just being like sitting there and being negative, like empty people. But how do you feel? What do you feel about that?
I'm
You just made me think about that
conceited.
with the Twitter.
No,
Twitter?
what? Twitter,
I
you
was
mean?
well, I was thinking about that with Twitter. That's what made me think about you just like people trying jokes and how they feel about it. You get conceited. You really you want to kill every time.
I don't bomb. I will have a joke during a set that bombs, but I've never had a whole set bomb.
Oh, okay. Even like, are we talking about like open mics too?
Like I've gone to brutal open mics, but that anymore to me does not count as bombing, depending on if it's a really loud,
Yeah.
there's like a really loud taco bar in Center City, Philly, that's like
Yeah.
upstairs, and it's just the comics are all in the back talking, nobody's policing them. They've got
Yeah.
the games on the TV. You're fighting for attention. So if I get a couple laughs out of like the host or one
Yeah.
other comic, but I even at
Yeah.
least I
Yeah, I
usually
guess, and most people never
always
have like a full bomb. I think your bombs
yeah.
change over time. Because also you'll
Yeah.
hear people be like, when you start, you're like, man, it crushed. You're like, well, we all heard a very different audience than you did.
Yeah,
Yeah,
no.
that's
Like my
crazy.
sets from my first couple years are mostly awful seeming on tape. To me at the time I was like, I'm doing okay. I'm getting laughs. But like going back, if I tried to clip some of those out, I would no. That's why I always talk to younger comics and I go, do you guys how do you guys feel dealing with the pressure of feeling like you have to put your stand-up clips up now, even though the
Yeah.
jokes aren't fully formed yet, and you're just like that might change and you might say it in 5 years totally different within
Yeah.
that set if it's written material type stuff that you're working on, crowd work bits, clips, random shit happening at shows, post that all you want no matter where you are in comedy. That's great, get it out there. But I have a certain feeling about like when I want to put a special out, I don't want it to be my clip was out from 10 years ago and I totally say it differently and now I'm ready to do my special.
Yeah. I think all of us, I wonder, how long ago did you start stand up? How long have you been doing it?
9 years this year.
Right. I've been doing,
Yeah.
yeah. Once you've been doing it, I think like close to a decade, I think we have those feelings. And I do agree with you. Because I like seeing a bit that's like super fucking worked out. But I guess that like a younger generation is like, you have no idea how busy we all are. And to be able to like do that. But I also feel like it's better. I'll just do shit on my phone, like not even clip stuff up. If I just think something is funny, I'll say it into my phone and then I'll work on it later. Cause I'm like, well, those are all just people who follow me anyway, and so they can see that clip. But yeah, I don't clip up a lot of my stand up at all. Like out there every once in a while if I do something with someone, we'll clip something up, but for the most part I don't clip up my stand up cuz I'll just do clips from like the podcast or whatever cuz I like to work on it, but when I see other people doing it, there's dude, we can say what we want, but they get a fucking lot of success with it. It's like it's
Sure.
crazy. But then it is hard to like continually churn out material. I don't know. I've been doing jokes for a long time. There's jokes that I still like, especially when you're not doing well and you're like, I better talk about this. It's fucking like I remember when I first did that my special in Philly, I was like afterwards, I was like, I'm gonna do all new material. Then like I was halfway through my set and I was like, I used to be a firefighter. And I was so easy back into my old set. I was like, wow, that didn't last very long at all.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Because I'm
like
not conceited, but I like to do well.
I like to play like I'm conceited. I never, I'm sure. I'm always like, I'm funny, right?
No, yeah,
But
you don't seem conceited. I get whenever
I
I get
don't.
what you were saying. Like you just like want to do well. I get
I and
that.
I know and like I see a lot more people bomb more frequently than me. I get up and just any more consistently just have because I've hosted so many different rooms for so long that a
Yeah.
lot of hosting experience and like really loud bar scenes, I can usually wrangle those crowds. It's only so,
Yeah.
it's and it to me it's sometimes the host of the mic doesn't care enough. I'm not going to care. I'm just going to get up and those are days I'll go show up somewhere and I haven't been on stage for a few days or a week even if I'm like busy doing other stuff because I'm like live streaming now more and
Yeah.
like I just have a busy life. So like now that I've been in it this long, do you still go to open mics every night of the week this far in?
No, luckily I've been very fortunate that my car broke down and I had an excuse.
Yeah, that's why I'm like trying to save money too. Like
Yeah. Well, dude, especially in Philly, I remember your show I did. You guys were all trying to like in between sets move your guys' car, and I was like, by the time I got back to my car, I was like, I think that was $50. I was like, just to like park, find a place, and it was crazy. Everyone was trying to find a place. So yeah, it does get expensive.
yeah.
And I was also but really fortunate. I was on tour with Cactus Tate, so I was getting a lot of reps in, which was nice because I got to not had to film something, but it was like a quick turnaround with Nate Bargatze. So I had to film a clean 10 minutes, and it was nice to be able to like work that out on the road. Cause sometimes mics, you'll want to try something out, but it can kill you if you're like really trying something and you're like, well, I guess I'll just do it at this mic. And you're like, man, that did not feel fucking good. But
Yeah.
no,
You're
but I've
like,
also been doing it for 14 years. I've done enough mics. I've slept in my car enough times. If I do mics whenever I feel them, and I'll go up a lot, but mostly that's what's cool about Austin is there's a lot of showcases, and
yeah.
I've been put on like a handful, and I barely met anybody, so it feels like that route will hopefully keep happening and be able to like do like just 10-minute spots all over town is fucking so perfect. It's so nice for working on material. It's the perfect amount of
That's
time.
yeah, that's what I would like. I try to grab up some spots when I can on the showcases that people run.
How is
Um,
Philly? I was talking about Ravens tonight.
Raven is crazy. I have a reputation of where I'm like my autism and like the way I don't hold back saying things. I'm just honest to comics and I'll just say things like you're doing this wrong or I don't like the way this is done or whatever
Yeah.
and everyone hates it. So I don't get booked on a lot of the little local showcases.
That's so funny. You're like, but those comics are getting way better. So hey, you're what's good for the goose is good for everybody or
Yeah,
whatever.
but like
Yeah.
that's fine because then I realize I'm like, oh, wait a minute. Because then I'll get mad. I'll be like, I need those little 10-minute spots to like work on my stuff. And then I religiously will go down and like if I'm in the city for any other reason, I will show up and do however many mics I can do that night. Tuesday's my favorite night because there's like 4 to 5 different mics you can logistically hit in one night.
Yeah.
And then Thursday's good. Raven's always a good crowd in there to where you can like tell
Yeah.
if you get there by a certain time, they're gonna have a crowd for you and it's like a show. It always has been like that. And I don't know. But then I look at like things I get booked for and I'm like, oh, they don't want to have me on their little floor in the back of a restaurant. That's embarrassing unless I'm headlining and there's not as many. They're not going to put me up to headline as often as there's a lot more people to go through first.
Sure. But yeah, that's something I definitely don't care about. I'm like, yeah, it's like it's sometimes you just do a spot. It doesn't matter if it's like whatever. It's stage time, stage time. It really
Stage
does
time,
not
stage
matter.
time.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. But a
Um,
great show is so fucking much better. God damn.
yeah,
Oh
like
my
I did
God.
my first theater show this year and I like got
Nice. With who'd you open for?
Pinky Patel. Do you know who
Fuck
she
yeah.
is?
Was it great?
It was really fun.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
It was really
I
fun.
definitely heard of Pinky. I don't
She's a
know why.
TikTok comedian and female, and I hadn't heard of her, and I told her that right to her face when I met her. And but she was like, she started it at COVID, just doing like videos and stuff, and then basically
Yeah.
came up with her own like. I thought she was like a 20-year stand up the way she told jokes and had tags and different, but she's just like an experienced older
You're
lady
cutting
with
out,
a
buddy.
life. Oh, I'll edit it. Sometimes my
Sorry.
internet here, no, that sometimes my internet will lag. I have that Temu Wi-Fi. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Yeah, yeah, yeah. Where it looks like a box, it looks like a
Yeah.
router.
So,
Yeah.
it's
But yeah, that's
back.
crazy.
It's
I
normal.
think,
It's
yeah,
back. All right.
that's so funny. I guess I have autism too, because I've done the same thing when I've opened for people. I go, I do not know who you are. And not in like a rude way.
It's,
I'll just be I'm like,
it's
you get
just
so many
true.
people out there. I just have not seen any of your stuff. Yeah, yeah, yeah.
I had to Google her because I was like, I got an email on my website and I was like, all right, is this real? Because I had a fake booking attempt like a week before that from some
What
random
did you
thing.
get the chauffeur one? Did you get that
It
weird
was, yeah, it
chauffeur
was
one?
like, we'll get you a
Uh-huh.
limo. Yeah.
Uh-huh.
And I was
And you
like,
as dude, I had
Googling it.
comics messaging me being like, "Hey, dude, is this legit?" And I go, "No, they got me too." I swear to God, sent the contract they sent to a lawyer, and then later looked back. I'm like, dude, this guy was talking in like the worst like AI. He
Fake
was like,
legal speak.
"You want comedy make fun of?" And I was like, "But it was $1,000, which for a
Yeah.
comedian is like getting $100 when you're 10. It is like you're
No.
like, is this? Are you shitting me? This
Yeah,
is
that's
mine."
how I knew it was fake.
Yeah, and so I messaged him, and then I looked at it, and the guy was like, "No, the chauffeur, sir, they're gonna have you pay, and then like it's like this whole, it's a
It's a scam.
scam.
There's different ones, I
It's
think.
so many
Yeah.
different ones, but as a comic, you're like,
They're like, oh,
I'll
yeah.
get scammed." Even my buddy, that's what my
Yeah.
buddy said. He goes, "Well, what if I swear to God, the guy who just kissed me, I swear to God, Zach goes, he messaged me, he goes, this real?" I was like, "No, it's a scam." He goes, "What if I just say no to the chauffeur?" I'm like, "Zach, there's not gonna be a fucking show."
You're gonna go to an empty because I started Googling the place that it was
Not even
at.
an empty. There's no yo. I
Well,
did you look
they
at
were
the
using a
location?
real they were using a real location. It was some kind of hotel
Yep.
venue that did
Yeah.
have things other nights, but that was the only one on the hotel's calendar
Yeah.
that didn't have a night
What
booked.
did you get hooked on Facebook by chance?
No, it was TikTok.
Okay, okay, okay.
But social media, yeah. And then I found a thing when I Googled the name of the company and scam after I looked it up because the email looked weird. Like they didn't have an email signature. And I'm like, this seems too like because I just
That's
started
what I
throwing
looked at too.
numbers.
The
I
email
just started
signature. I'm like,
throwing
where's all their
numbers.
numbers?
Yeah,
Yeah.
I was like, well, this is a lot for me because the travel, I'm gonna need $2,000. Like, and they were like, yeah,
Yeah.
sure, whatever. And then I'm like, all right,
Yes.
this is suspect. So I like pulled it up, got figured out it was like seemed sketchy. The location wasn't booked that weekend, and
I
then
wish I
it
could pull
just
it up fast because I want to look at it because
yeah,
I think I did the same thing. I was like, well, that's expensive. He's like, we pay another 500 if now do it. I'm like,
if now
okay.
do
Yeah,
it.
it's like it was so
Yeah.
broken. I
It's
can't
just
believe it.
bad. You how but
Yeah.
you're so eager, you just want to work. Like I would
Yeah.
do the shit and like show up and do. They were like, it's a corporate event. But so I thought it was a scam. So then I did the same thing when I got this email from someone on the website, but she had a legit like at whatever dot com whatever, and it was a real company. And
Yeah.
then I searched the show and it was real and it had tickets listed, and I was like, this still seems fake because it was like at the Met and I like or
Uh-huh.
whatever, like you know what I mean, or the Kimmel Center. And I go,
Yes.
okay, whatever, sure. But she wasn't asking me for any info. She goes, okay, good. Saturday at 6 p.m. or whatever. And I go, all right, I'll be there. And then like I still didn't believe it until like the day I showed
Yes.
up and I pulled in and I'm like, hi, I'm Sonia. And they're like, oh my
Yeah.
God, we've been waiting for you. And I'm like, okay, this
Sonia,
is
it's so funny. We sound like divorced people because we're like, there's no love. Because I had a club message me. It's a newer club in Clarksville, Tennessee, and they're like,
okay.
hey, do you want to come do this show? And I was like, yeah, send me an email, and it better look like a fucking email. And then it did, and I literally called them. I was like, oh, this is real. Like I was like, this is crazy. You get burned so many times that you're like, all right.
Like,
Ugh,
okay, try me, big boy. Like,
yeah.
fucking, you want to try me,
God. And
scammer?
it's crazy was then I said yes to that because I literally was gonna be like, this might not be real. I don't even want to do that. It's literally in a week. I bet it's gonna get canceled. And then I said yes, and it's the first time I've ever been on a billboard in my life. They put me on a billboard in their town, and it's a flashy one. So it's just digital. They didn't
Yeah,
print
yeah,
my
yeah.
fucking head,
Hey,
but
that
it's
counts.
yeah, it's supposed.
Counts. Look,
Yeah,
that counts.
yeah, I think so
Okay.
too.
I headlined Atlantic City Comedy Club this year by
Hey,
default because I don't know why I showed up and they were like, you're going to close out because I was like 10 minutes late for the doors time, not even the show. I would have made the show if I was the host. I was filling in for somebody last minute, but then they
yeah,
were like, you're going to headline. I'm like,
gosh,
let's
that's
fucking
crazy.
go.
Yeah, and then your show at Pinky went good.
Yeah, it was fun. It was just, it was like she didn't sell out the whole theater, but it was probably 600 people in there. And I was
Yeah,
like,
theaters
that's
are
them.
tough. Yeah, theaters. It's so cool because it's like that. You're like, it's like what you dream of when you're a kid. Like that's what you want to do. You're like, I
Yeah.
want to. But when
Yeah.
you do them, you're like, okay, you guys are so much farther away. Like a comedy club is the perfect.
It's right
Live
up.
comedy
Yeah.
is the best. Like
Yeah.
I stand up specials are great, but
Yeah.
literally a live comedy club, fucking insane.
Yeah. I think I saw she's gonna be at the Georgia Helium
Okay.
like in a couple of months. But yeah, so she ended up doing 4 tours from just having
Yeah.
her own TikTok following.
Yeah. That's what I went on the road to Cactus Tate and she did the exact same thing. And it's the same thing we were talking about with like people posting clips. I'm like, dude, whatever you do to make it, you still have to prove yourself. And then she totally did. Dude, TJ Miller came out to a show and afterward he did a guest spot and he was like, how long have you been doing stand up? And she was like, pretty much this tour. And he was like,
Yeah.
you did an hour. He's like, you talk about a lot of shit. He's like, that's crazy. And I was like, yeah, like, because when I met her too, we were talking. I was like, how long have you been doing stand up? Like 6 or 7 years? Because she was so funny. And she's
Yeah.
like,
Yeah.
no, I just started. So I don't, yeah, I was talking to another comic about this, Dane, this guy in Austin. And I was like, I don't think that you have to like go through all these open mics. Cause like I did that and it killed your spirit. So I don't know if killing your soul, it might make you more into like a Voldemort than it does like the fucking chosen
Yeah,
or
yeah,
whatever.
yeah. It might bring out the darkness. Uh,
Yeah.
but like, well, okay. So with that in mind, we do only have 4 minutes left, by the way. So I'll just drop that now, and then we can stop and do a
We've been
reset
talking for
because
40 minutes.
close because we had a little bit of
That's
technical
awesome.
stuff. Yeah.
Sick.
See, it
Yeah.
goes by fast.
It does. I
Um,
love it.
I'm a yapper, professional yapper. You too. We all should be as comedians, and that's like what I think about. I've been like like we're talking about. I've been working. Now, here's the thing: is I feel like I have hours of material. It's just not all well formed because I've been going to open mics and hosted Raven for so long. For 4 years before and after COVID, like total. You know what I mean? It
Yeah.
gave me to where I feel like when I'm ready to put a special out, I'm not going to have to work so hard to be like, okay, my next one and my next one and my next one.
Sure. Yeah.
Everybody has their own path. I also
Yeah.
have like I feel like it's like you have to have life experience. I don't know Cactus. I heard she's very funny.
Oh my
Um,
God. So she's got a lot of life experience. Like when she
that's
was
what I mean. Is
19,
like
she lived
that's
a
all
whole
you
life.
really
Yes.
need is like some
Yeah.
stories and an interesting take. And if you're funny, you're funny. I
Yeah.
just didn't know I was going to end up doing stand up. I didn't start till I was 31.
No
So,
way.
yeah.
Wait, how? Okay. Well, I didn't know you were older than 31. How old are you? And I'm not doing that thing
No,
people do.
I'm
I legit.
constantly, I have a very American Psycho level skincare regimen.
Oh,
I'm going to be
nice. I did do the
40,
opposite.
I'm going to
I
be
bad.
43 in a week.
Oh my God, you killing it. Send me
Thank
that
you.
regiment and I'll ignore it every night.
Yeah,
I
men don't
hate it.
care. Um,
No, my whole face is made of pores.
well,
Every
you
yeah.
start. Here's the thing, and I have a theory, and I've said this before, maybe on the podcast, definitely in person. Starting comedy young ages you like a fucking president or like a football quarterback.
Yeah, that
Do
super hurts my feelings you saying that. And yes, I do agree with that. It does, it definitely ages you. Like I'll show people like a photo like the other day. I showed TJ, I was like, dude, I opened for you 11 years ago. And I was like, you look at this photo. And he was like, what the fuck? I'm like, I look completely different. It does age you in a weird way.
It's
But
stressful.
yeah, but also when you meet people who are older, they don't have that life experience, and you have that thing that like comedy does like beat you up in all these classic like ways everyone knows. It's not like a secret, but it beats you up in all these little ways, and it does age you in a way where I feel like a lot of comics you meet, you'll be like, you're wise. Like you meet someone, you're like,
Yeah.
you've been to Poughkeepsie or whatever. You're like, it's
Yeah.
gross.
It's
Yeah.
gross. All right, before we cut out for the end here, I have one question before we split, before we break. Very important. I've been thinking about it. I forgot about it earlier with regards to bobbies with long hair. When you wash your hair, I never asked my bobby this.
Yes.
Do strands go out and go in your butt crack and like get in your butt when you're washing like girls, or is that just a girl?
Not only, yes, I have so many hair and crevices. Sorry. So, yes, I not only that, one of the worst is when it goes down and somehow it doesn't catch, and then you wipe, and then you have a long hair with shit all over
Oh
it.
no, I do. I remove it in the shower every time, the
Well,
hair.
we're guys and we're going quick, and so somehow it gets down there. So you'll feel all day, you'll kind of feel this weird thing where
No,
your butt feels like it's in the void or something like
no.
that. Yeah, you asked, and so
I
yes,
know.
it does get in crevices for sure. And it get the worst is when it gets in your mouth and it almost kills you. That's the worst. I finally have to tie my hair when I go to bed because otherwise I'll wake up and I'm like, oh, I can't.
Yeah.
Yeah, so it gets in my asshole. And the worst as a guy, I don't know if a guy's ever told you about this because I have you ever had a girl? I've talked to a girl about this. You ever get one in your asshole somehow and you have to like pull it out? It somehow has gotten like kind of in your asshole.
Not in. No,
Yeah, well, I've had
no.
that. I've also had one somehow go around my wiener. So when I saw it, I swear to God, and I went to go pull it, and I was like, ah, and I started choking it. I was like, okay, not what I meant to do. It was wrapped. It was like a suicide attempt by my wee wee.
I no, I feel like I've got what we get is so like my nails are kind of like growing out. You can't see, but like you get this little like gap
Yeah,
at the bottom, and whether it's dip or acrylic or whatever, it starts to
I
like
thought you meant
lift.
dip. I
I
thought you
know.
meant like
No,
whether
it's like
it's
that. I
straw.
know. Sorry, that's the name of this like stuff. It's like my
Uh,
real nail, but it's like
yeah,
powder dip, whatever. So
right.
a hair will get if you go like this to put your hair up, it will get lodged under there,
Yeah, and
and
you
then you
pull it up, and
kind of
there's a line.
feel it, and yeah, and
Yeah,
it like feels weird. And then I've definitely got one like in a tooth, like dental floss almost, like it got in the middle of a
that
tooth.
sucks. Yes, especially for a
Um,
guy. I'll get one of my beard, and I'll get a short one, and it gets
oh
perfectly caught. So you're just like,
no.
and you can't get it out. Oh, that fucking sucks. Yeah,
I have a
gross.
vivid memory of the like hottest guy I've ever been with. He like came over. It was a one-time hookup. It was my only ever Tinder, and then like he was going down on me, and he stopped for a second, and he just like looked at me, and then he was just like, "Oh God, there's a hair in my mouth the whole time, and I couldn't get it."
That's
And I was like,
oh, that is so funny. It just kept coming out like you're a
like
clown, just
it
like
was a
oh
head
yeah.
hair. It wasn't
Yeah,
like
it's a long,
that.
of course. Yeah, of course. I did assume it was your head hair, dude. I went down. I don't mind. I honestly I do prefer like a little bush, but
I always keep the triangle, but like not
yeah,
yeah, but not
any kind
long.
of
Like
hey, whatever you want to do, mow it back and forth so it has different. It has like that lawn pattern. But this one girl, her hair was, I swear to God, so long that it did hit the back of my little uvula thing, and I went, "Ugh," and she goes, "You okay?" I was like, "Yeah," and I was like,
yeah.
"Fucking maybe weed whack this, like fucking maybe put some fucking weed killer over here. This is crazy."
Okay.
Yeah, but guys are gross too, so what are we gonna do?
Yeah, no, I've thought about that. I tried hooking up with a
Did you
guy like
freeze?
a little over a year ago, year and a
Fuck, you
half.
just froze. Damn it.
Oh, that's okay. All I said was I was gonna hook up with a guy like a year and a half ago, and he had super long hair, and I always thought about the butthole thing, but I didn't want to
Yes.
ask him.
You got to ask us. We love talking about our buttholes. Well, some guys don't. Some guys are weird with their
He
buttholes.
was weird. We have less than a minute left, so I'll send you a new link, and we'll
Perfect.
link back up here and about take a break. It takes a minute to like download the file, Give my computer some time to breathe. Get yourself a
Hell yeah.
drink. Get yourself a smoke. Whatever you
I'm
got.
gonna do that.
Tell your roommate to come in here and freeze on camera again.
Did it freeze while we were
No, no,
kissing?
he was like,
Yeah, I
I
know,
was
I know.
like, is he frozen?
Bro, he didn't make any, and he's one of those guys, dude. I love him so much. He's one of the funniest guys. And then he just comes in here and freezes. I'm like, what do you? I literally was like, come in here, and he's like,
That's the autism.
weed.
Sometimes, but as a kidney transplant patient, we're not supposed to.
Oh, is like just smoke is just bad for your kidneys?
Technically,
Like,
yes, like incinerating or combusting anything and then smoking it is not the kidneys process that because all of your air goes through your lungs and then oxygenates and goes to your kidneys and stuff like that. But really, what they're worried about is so I'll only smoke like medical if my doctors are listening because you can
yeah.
actually get considered non-compliant if you're a kidney transplant patient and then you get sick from smoking.
Oh,
Your same center will not give you a transplant again. But we have medical
oh,
in this state. So, well, here's the
okay.
thing though. None of it is totally exempt from the plant version of having mold spores because it's a plant. So when they dry it, it's like a thing like when you dry anything, it could become moldy if it's not,
Yeah,
so it's like if you get fungus in your lungs from mold
yeah,
spores
yeah.
and
And I've
then getting
definitely
them
smoked moldy weed for
I remember
sure.
getting moldy weed back in the day and trying to like dry it
Yeah.
out in an oven or something because it was somebody's
Oh
homegrown. I
God.
think it was at Bobby's house
It's yeah, Bobby's we that's what we do. We're drying weed out. We're not,
in
yeah,
the
we don't go.
oven,
Yeah.
like trying to sprinkle cinnamon on it to make it smell better.
Yeah.
Like
Oh my
put it in the
God.
oven and just bake it up.
Yeah.
Um,
Oh my God.
anyway, um, but so I'll be like if I'm out, I'm having a good time and like somebody has some of the right kind. I'll take a couple hits. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? But I
Yeah.
carry around my the the
Yeah.
Benjamin, and just sort of
Yeah. Well, and I mean, honestly, yeah, smoking, it's just smoking is so bad for you. I think about if I never smoked in my life, and I feel like
yeah.
I feel like I'd be able to just do backflips now. I
You
don't know.
probably could, or like run a
Yeah.
marathon or
Or
whatever.
run.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, dude.
I know. I would do like I like edibles, like because they have tincture and stuff at the dispensary, but then it
Yeah.
dehydrates the fuck out of me. I get like cotton mouth of the body. I'm like,
Yeah, it does do. What's crazy is we were on the road and in Washington. How much did I think I took. I swear to God, I think we took probably close to like 500 milligrams,
yeah,
and I didn't really feel like I was because we I smoked. So that's just I like weed,
yeah,
and
me
so we
too.
did it, and it didn't really work on me. But I remember back in the day, I ate like 100 milligrams because I was sick. Because I was
Hmm.
like, I feel like medicine never really works on me, right? And you just feel weirder. You don't feel necessarily better.
Hmm.
And so I was like, oh, I'm going to eat this edible because I can't smoke. And so I eat this 100 milligrams. And I got so fucking high that my roommate came home and he was like, hey, what's up? And this is 100% my recollection. I was like, hey, what's up, man? He was like, what? And I go, not much. What's up, man? And he goes, all right, man, I'm going to go to bed. And the next day he was like, why weren't you talking to me last night? I go, I did. He goes, no. I go, what's up? And you literally go, and he goes, you were like one of those like drug ads. He's like, you physically were not talking. And in my head, I'm like, what's up, man? He's like, no, you're like, ah. He's like, it's so embarrassing for you.
I've
Yeah.
gone nonverbal from those 100 milligram edibles.
Oh
That
God, that's
this
the bee's knees. Just when you're like, your brain just goes, we're not talking anymore.
just
We
shut
plead the
down.
fifth.
You just
Yeah.
shut down and just watching everything happen around you. You can't talk if you wanted
God.
to. See, if I would have tried to talk during those times, I might have like had a panic attack or done that. I think I've
Yeah.
tried to go on stage one time at the and run Raven maybe and like be because that's when I used to carry him around all the time, like right
Yeah.
after the transplant. Because I didn't smoke for like a while after the transplant. Like the first
Yeah.
year, I was like, I don't want to vape or smoke or do anything like they say.
Yeah.
So then I just vaped a little bit here and there for a while.
Yeah. I
And
can't tell you the last time I've not smoked before doing stand up.
I try not to do it right before stand up because then I get to I don't know.
Immediately. Immediately.
I'll take a shot. I'll do a shot to kind of
I'm
cool
not.
off my
No,
nerves, but
no. Well, because and I'm not a bad drunk. I'm not like I kind of say this. I'm
you
like I'm not
don't.
like I'm not an apology guy. Like I don't have to like I'm not like no, I don't apologize. No, I'm like I don't have to say sorry, and I can't drink that much to where like I'm making terrible decisions because usually I'll just black out before that happens. But if I do like a shot before a show, it'll be one of those shows that if every single person isn't like excited to be there, it could turn. I'm just like, what? Like it could
Oh.
turn. But with being high, I'm incredible at. Like I'm so much better. Like there are. I've only one time completely, and it was in like a theater. I was doing well, but they started laughing, and then I was like in the part where normally isn't funny, but you're just in the moment. And then I just started smiling, and in my head, I'm like, I fucking have absolutely no idea where I'm at in my set. And I'm like in my head
That's what
looking
happens to me.
out.
That's what happens to
Yeah.
me. I go, oh, what the fuck was I gonna say? Even if I have notes, I go, I've almost forgotten jokes. I've been so
You
like,
can't read. You look at when you get that high, if you're not used to it, you're just like, what is this in Arabic? What is
well, like
this?
always before the transplant, I always smoked. I have to do like sativa products to go to work. You know what I mean? To like
Yeah.
quell the anxiety. And I worked in a legal job where I did mortgage closings for a long time, where I had to show up and explain all the paperwork to people when they're
Wow,
buying
that sounds so
houses.
fucking boring.
It
Oh my
was so
gosh.
boring, and I wanted to kill myself
Yeah.
every day. But
Yeah.
it paid well, and I like, but it was I would have to read these documents to people, and I could do that, but like trying to remember and pull my own stand up out of my brain is sometimes I hit
Yeah.
those little like file cabinet locks where I'm like, oh, I
Yeah.
forgot that one. I haven't said it in
Yeah.
10 months or something. Like,
Yeah. Well, and you forget it, and that's the hard thing too. Then you're just kind of reciting it, and it's like, and I'm trying very hard to not. Oh shit, did that stop? I'm
no,
trying
you're
very
fine.
hard not to. Yeah, try like I'm like just like say it how you feel it
Yeah,
instead of like
you
trying
can't.
to recite
You
it.
can't because people can see it all over your face. Unfortunately, I've
Yeah.
learned watching a lot of other people. I told somebody that recently. They
Yeah.
can tell
People.
when you're just reading a joke out of your head,
Yeah, and you think because you're like, yeah, the audience didn't get it. And they're like, no, they could tell you were just saying words. Like, and
saying a sentence.
yeah, and I feel like, and I feel like it took me a long time to where, like, even still now, I'm still getting comfortable fully being yourself because it's like an acceptance thing where you're like, oh, I'm like funny enough, but every time you almost like have to go up there and do this guy Jeremy Essig one time said something. It was a competition he was hosting, and he was like, guys, all these comics are trying really hard. Most of them are shadow boxing in the back, which is so funny because it's like the opposite of what you do. So now before shows, I kind of do what I always thought like my favorite band growing up. Like I get to hang out with them now, bragging. But what right before their shows, they're just being silly dudes like in story of the year. They're just fucking like hanging out being silly. And I was like, yeah, that's the vibe you want to bring on stage. So now I do that. Like unless
Yeah.
it's for every once in a while you have to get more serious, but when I did, I shot something and there was everyone in the back was so nervous that I just left and I smoked weed because I couldn't be if I'm nervous, I can kind of like mask it by just talking to other people because I'm like an extrovert. I feel better. But when other people are nervous, it makes I'm like, it just feels like, it feels like everyone's getting eaten by alligators. And you're like, is there an alligator going to eat me? Like, you just want to go
You
away
just
as
see
soon as you
blood on
can.
their legs.
Yes. Yeah. Yes. Uh-huh. And we're good.
No, I get it. I was in a band, so that green room was a
What
totally
did you
different
do?
experience. I played bass and wrote the lyrics, and like had one song where I did
Bro,
backup.
that's cool as fuck. I tried to record music yesterday. It is unbelievably hard.
It's
It is so time consuming and not easy.
yeah, because it's a lot of little micro editing.
Yeah, dude, that's
Yeah.
sick as fuck. I love man, I love that you like anyone I like grew up with, they would like that they played music. I was always just like I would practice so hard playing guitar, but I have ADHD, so I couldn't like it's hard to play in time. I could learn what the chords were, but I'd get too like whatever. So
I have to
when I
like
watch anyone
follow
play
the
bass,
lyrics to pay attention
yeah,
sometimes when I'm playing
yeah.
guitar.
Do you play with like are you pick bass or do you finger?
I picked because it was electric.
Yeah.
Not that that makes a difference. But I have an acoustic that my sister got
Oh,
me.
an acoustic bass is like when do you play that? I guess like in
It
like
was
a
it's fun at like a jam session in the backyard with like somebody with acoustic guitar, fucking tambourines and bullshit, like because
yeah,
you can just kind of like punctuate the music.
yeah, that's
And
true.
we had this roommate that would finger pick. He was crazy at it and slap doing like the slap bass and stuff. And I
Yeah,
just really liked that. And I was just I was played in the band for so long. She like got me the acoustic bass just and it's
fuck
convertible.
yeah.
Like it can be converted to
What
electric.
kind of
And
band was it?
we were like emo, screamo, hardcore-ish.
Yeah, that's my shit. Did you grow up
um,
listening? If did you like the emo world? Like, was it like the used or like story of the year? Like, what did you
well, I
like?
was
Or
gonna
is it?
say my favorite band is Thrice if they're listening and want to have me come hang out
Yeah,
at their shows. It always has
bro.
been for a
Yeah,
long time now. Because
artist in the ambulance.
Yeah, when they've transitioned well. That's what when we
They're all
recorded an
women now.
album. Yes.
Yeah,
They're so
yeah.
beautiful.
Yes,
No,
they're
when
twice
we
now. They're
recorded
twice.
when we recorded an album, the producer at the time said his name was David Ivory. He said, the sign of a good band is they can change with time, like the Beastie Boys, right? They
Yeah,
were, you can't, you won't, you don't stop, and then they're like, intergalactic somewhere in there, and like
yeah.
it went with the time instead of just being like, well, we always have to sound like this, which is fine. You
Yeah.
can
The
always
Beatles, the Rolling Stones, like all those people. And I feel like the best musicians know that. Like, even if you listen to like Corey Taylor from Slipknot, he has influences from other music. Like, he doesn't, like, I was younger, I'm like, I bet that guy does live in like a maggot filled house. Like, you're like,
with
you know, you're like, I bet that guy lives in filth. And then you're like, no, that's not what art,
with some mask on.
that's the art. Yeah, yeah, yeah. And so you think that that's what that's like the world that it is, but it's totally not. Oh my God. Yeah,
The
it's
maggot-filled
such a weird world.
house.
But yeah, if you can change with the times, because yeah, like I like story of the year specifically with that like item in mind is like their first album went like super popular, went
Yeah.
platinum, everyone loved it. And I've talked to them about this, which is cool, but they were like, for their second album, they could have kept going that direction. A lot of people, because that was around the like Paramore, like Twilight time, where it's like people are getting in movies. Like they were like, at one point, Story of the Year, one of their songs might have been in Spider-Man.
Okay.
And that like changes the trajectory of your life. Like the people who were in that, like the movie Grind and shit, in their second album, they were like, well, we could keep going this way, but grew up like being more like hardcore guys. So their second album fucking fucks, dude. It's so heavy. And I like that because they like everyone else changed with the times because everyone's like, a lot of these bands were like, well, we're going to make songs. And I'm not shitting on them. I love these bands, but they kind of made songs for the girlfriends. Where Story of the Year was like, we're going to make the songs we want to make. And then even that, then they did a political album and then they did a fucking album that they all hate. And then they made a self-entitled, like, or like a one like that they produced themselves. And then they just made one that's like putting them back on the charts. It's getting like more play. But it's like you have to learn how to change with the times. And that's why, like, when people are like, what kind of stand-up do you do? I'm always like, I change all the time. Like there's times I might like have a couple one-liners, but like I don't ever feel like I'm in a box or like that I try to do anything because the times do change and some of your favorite comics you'll watch them. Like Jim Gaffigan, you'd see him and you're like, he's starting to get an edge to him. You know what I mean? Like I'd see him do some
I love
stuff and
Jim
it's like
Gaffigan,
who
actually.
the fuck doesn't? That guy is price. I rented Beyond the Pale. I cannot tell you how many times from Blockbuster I would rent that, Eddie Murphy, and then I was always like too young for Richard Pryor. And then the one time I watched it, I was like, he was talking about him being on fire, and I'm like, what the fuck is he talking about? I was like, this is crazy. But dude, Jim Gaffigan fucking rules, dude.
I saw him live twice. One time at Helium when he was like previewing like stuff for a tour about 10 years
Yeah.
ago, I feel like.
Yeah.
One time in New York. But yeah, he's great. And he's someone that's
Yeah.
like I always point out as just because he's clean doesn't mean he's not dark.
I was telling someone that the other day. I was like, you can be evil with clean. Clean doesn't have to mean be
It's
like
like
potato. Like it doesn't have to
and
be
like
stupid.
anymore I
Yeah.
toe the line of like, why is cussing dirty? Why is
I
it just
know.
because it's TV clean?
I know. And it's how
Why does
Americans talk. It's how we talk. It's
it's
like fucking isn't like,
fucking Philly people are just
oh,
constantly saying
yes.
fucking.
Yes. People are like, why do you cuss so much? And I'm like, it's not like all the time, but someone's like, you kind of cuss a lot in your act. And I was like, yeah, but I get my ideas out more. And if I mean, I can talk, like I did a show for all kids. Fuck, it ruled, dude. It legit was awesome. And I did clean material. But
Yeah.
it's just because it's like if you can be funny, like you know how to like talk. And they were 18. It's not like they were like 5 or whatever.
Yeah, yeah. Well,
Yeah.
listen, wait a minute. That's funny though, because one time I did a benefit show for some local, like a family. A guy had passed away, and so there was little kids. It was like in a wedding hall. You know what I mean?
Yes.
And there was this little girl that was like 6 years old, sitting in the front, like her little princess dress, and like hanging out, a little table full of kids, and the little boys were all like, "Whoa, whatever." But she was looking at me. She heard the punchline hit and would go,
Yes.
like, you know what I mean?
I know when I did my thing with Nate Land, my friend Cactus Tate, the girl I go on the road with,
Yeah, yeah,
her
yeah.
daughter, she was like, she can watch it. And then she sent me a video and she's sitting with her dog. And just because everyone laughs, she goes,
Exactly.
and looks at her dog Meathead and goes, "So funny, right?" Or Dexter, whatever her dog's name.
Yeah.
She just goes, "So
So
funny,
funny.
right?" Like, and I'm like, "Oh, that's so funny." But she is funny, dude. There is literally nothing fucking better than a little funny kid because especially they're not trying. They just spiritually somehow came to this planet and they're like have been around and they're like, I know how to say stuff, and it's crazy, dude. It's
They-
so funny.
they're just like autistic ass comedians just saying what you thinking without any filter
Yes.
of social restrictions of, oh well, you shouldn't say that honest thing about that person's pants
Yeah.
falling down being funny right now because it's embarrassing for them.
Yes.
It's like,
Yeah.
but that's hilarious. I don't care
Yeah.
that that guy just mooned the whole fucking hospital floor.
Yes. Yeah.
It's like
Yeah, kids do know it. Yeah, kids definitely have it
they're
better
like,
than us.
he's fat,
Yeah.
and you're like,
Yeah.
no, shh. You're like,
Oh
no.
my God. Why do they look like that? That's how I
Yeah.
don't know what to tell you.
Have you ever seen the meme where it's like all the like 8-year-old kids at the Olive Garden when their iPad dies and they have to stare at the special needs kid, and then it's
Oh
just like a
my God.
SpongeBob, just like
Yes.
you know what I
And
mean?
I remember doing that when I was a kid. You don't know, you're like new to the world, but then your parents don't know. There
No
no
one
one teaches
says
parents
anything.
how to do stuff. So eventually you're just like, what's going on? Because like I had a couple of special needs kids like in my family,
Yeah.
and there was this one girl that I remember like I came in and my cousin goes, "You look scared of her," and I'm like, I'm not," but she has a bar between her legs and she started like crawling at me, and I just was like, I was a child. I
Yeah,
would
yeah.
not do this now.
No. It's
But I
like
remember
you
being a
don't
kid
know
and
what's happening.
everyone started laughing at me, and I'm like, yeah, and it's like, but I was like those kids where I just didn't say anything, but yeah, the funniest kids say everything. We were in LA and this comic DeHerm. Dude, I always say, especially as a comic, do you ever like not want to be mean? I don't know if like you ever like how do you deal with that?
I'm kind of have people say I'm mean, but it's really
Yeah.
just me saying exactly what I think sometimes.
Right, which I like that. I don't really feel like that's mean. And I know you and I feel like, oh, I don't really bring mean out in people. So I'm like, I don't do that. I feel like I don't do that either. But yeah, it would be hard to picture you being mean now that I'm kind of caught up in
Um,
like thinking of you
I
being
mean, I was
that
really,
crazy.
I even when I'm mean, I'm just like, I'm going to block you now, and that's it. I don't know. Sometimes I think I'm mean. I don't know. You and I don't like have any reason to have like where I'm like
Well,
have
right.
had
Yeah, yeah.
interactions with you where I would be like,
Of
fuck
course.
you or
Yeah.
something.
Well, and so I guess like because I'm not used to it and any like my grew up with it, but I don't want to do it. And it was this comic to her and we're hanging outside and this guy comes up and he's like just being annoying and drunk.
Yeah.
And we're all like kind of letting him do it because we're trying to be nice. And then DeHerm comes out and just looks at me and goes, "Hey," and he goes, "I do not like your face. Do not do
I
this."
can't.
And
That's
dude, we all died laughing. And I was like, sometimes as a comic, I'm like, we need that. I did do that to another guy the other day because I wasn't trying to be mean, but he was doing that selfish bit where he's the only one who gets it and we're all confused. And then he goes, "Do you know what I mean?" And I go, "I'm actually just trying to get out of this conversation." And everyone goes, "What?" And I was just like, well, sometimes you have to say the thing. But I feel bad because you never want to feel like you're bullying people or whatever. But
no,
sometimes you got to say the thing.
that's crazy because the tism is not us bullying people. Then
Yeah.
they'll bully us back and be like, "Don't you say that? That's rude."
I know.
My
I
favorite
know.
one, I did this. All right, so I am that is me. I'm to Herm because like we were all in a group of people outside Helium one night. This is a while ago, and some girl was like talking to one of the male comics, going, "Why'd you block me on Instagram? Blah blah blah, like that. Why'd you?" And he was like, "I don't know, my girlfriend at the time, whatever. She didn't want you, whatever. She wanted me to block you, whatever." And he had a reason, and that's a reason enough in my head. And then like she just kept pressing this. She just kept going, "I don't know, unblock me, whatever. Da, 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 da. Why don't you unblock me?" Like just kept saying it. The guy was like, "I don't have to, whatever." Like he was like visibly like kind of like just, I don't want to talk about this right now. It was just we
Yeah.
were like everyone's nervous and awkward, and I just go, "Man, I was gonna block you the other day," and they were like, "Why? Because you don't like her?" I go, "No, just for no fucking reason." Like,
Yeah.
you know what I mean? Like
Yes.
just because I don't
Yes.
like you.
Yeah, you have to break that tension. If no one broke that tension, we would all just be not talking to each other for the rest of our lives.
We all
Someone
could
has
kill
to have
ourselves on
autism.
the way
Maybe
home.
autism is nature's way of getting through conversations.
I think it's like a
Yeah.
strange social awkwardness that helps
Yeah.
you sometimes.
Yeah. I was diagnosed probably close to like 10 years ago
Yeah.
with ADHD. Does that mean I have autism?
Here's the thing. it's a spectrum, right? Where, you know, there's obviously like I'm probably closer to the Asperger spectrum where I'm like really smart but have tics and stims and things that kind of are like specific to the, you know, I have auditory processing delays. You
Okay.
know, stuff like that.
Yeah.
So like it's a function thing. It's not like
Yeah.
a disease, you know, it's
Right.
like
No, no, no. Right. For
executive
sure.
functioning problems and they're so close
Yeah.
in nature, ADHD and spectrum disorders.
Yeah.
They're like comorbid a lot more than I think people think that they are. Because
Yeah. Are
some of
you
the
do you
things
take
are
ADHD medication with for it?
no, I don't. I just raw
Me
dog all
neither.
of it. I raw
Me
dog
too.
my any mental illness I have, anxiety.
Yeah.
I weed obviously a little bit for the anxiety, but
Yes.
sometimes the sativa, nice sativa will kick you right into a panic attack.
Yeah, I know you need that
But
indicator, that hybrid to keep you at
yeah,
level.
no, but
Yeah.
I am just I just deal with it, and I've therapy's helping because I've learned to admit
Yeah.
that like
Breathing. Yeah. Mm-hmm.
social situations feeling awkward to me and having it giving me like where I what I used to call crowd anxiety of being like in a crowd full of people
Yes.
is not in front of them, in them is not like
Yeah.
anxiety. It's like a agoraphobia and
Yeah.
the different traits that I think a lot of people, here's the thing, I've said this before on the podcast. I reason that the way we have a lot of like if you have heart disease, you might also get kidney stones. You might also have leg vein problems. You might also have all these other things happen. I don't think we just have one mental thing and that's it. I think
Right. I
doctors
think
will
so.
pinpoint
Yeah.
you as you're this, and then they never explore past that because a lot of
Yeah.
doctors are just like, it's I said what goes, and that's how it is. You
Yeah.
don't, you know.
Well, you're kind of making me when you said it like that, like because I've described it in like different ways. Because I never like that. I'm like I don't know. I've never understood certain definitions of it, but definitely I have ADHD. Like the doctor, whenever I took this test, and it's like this whole paper you fill out, and she
Yeah,
looks at front and back that fast, and she goes, "So do you want medication?" I go, "Listen, I didn't come here to get
that's what they
medication. We
said to
don't."
me too. Yeah,
And I go, "We don't have to do it that fast." She goes, "I've met you. You have ADHD." And
yeah,
I was like, "No, I don't," because I was like, "Well, one time when I played baseball, and I was just like
yeah.
going crazy." But I was on medication, and then I didn't like how I felt. And then eventually I was like, you know what? I think this is like a part of me. So eventually I'm going to like figure it out. So I do feel like over time you figure it out. But what you really made me think of is that with ADHD and people diagnosing you and stuff like that, is with what we have, it's all these different things. It's like a pile of papers that are like all stacked up and you can see parts of them. So you think you have the whole picture because they're all stacked up, but there's, it's so intricate. And I don't think that like is this seems deep, but I'm not. I just think this is how I think. I think like as an American specifically, we don't deal with any little trauma or like relationship stuff very well. That it does all build up. So if you have ADHD, it builds into other things and like all these things. And as I get older, I really try to like work on those. Like I just try to work on like I do breathing exercises, I make lists,
Yes,
I
yeah.
clean up, I do stuff, and then I'm like, oh, I feel better. And then you use your ADHD and have fun instead of when I was on Vyvanse. I did all those things and I cleaned and then I was done and I felt like my creativity was in another universe. I was just like, I don't feel like myself at all. And I'll take having ADHD over being like kind of comatose, I guess.
Yeah, over just taking drugs to kind of like
Yeah.
sedate it. Yeah,
Yeah.
like I agree. Like they don't always like the medicine isn't always going to help everyone because it might not be the exact right thing. Now, it does help
Exactly.
people, but you
Yeah.
can also learn to kind of not deal with, but like manage your symptoms the way
Yes.
you can any other disease without. Because I'm the same way about my health too. Like I never wanted to like have to take kidney transplant medication and stuff,
Right.
but like you have to take it. So like I
I
take as
know.
little as I possibly can.
I do the same thing when I'm sick. And when I broke my
Yeah.
elbow, I didn't take any of the medicine. I'm not trying to sound like tough.
No.
Legit, I just am scared of beginning an
I
addiction to
don't.
like pills.
I know.
So I
I
don't
know.
take them. I had to after my surgery, I was screaming in pain.
Yeah.
And my girlfriend at the time called her mom because she's a nurse and she was like, here's what's going on. She's like, he has to take double the amount to catch up. And I'm like, is
Oh
she
God.
trying to kill me? And I was
Yeah.
like, and she was, and I took it but I didn't finish the medication. And I was like, because luckily hard drugs luckily don't do it for me. Like luckily beyond like the light weed and stuff like that, like those things are something that I will like partake in. But other than that, I don't get like the thing of escape. If anything, I like to try as I get older. I'm like, I have ADHD, so if I don't meal prep and go to the grocery store, I'm gonna be fucking hungry in 3 days. Like all these things are gonna happen. But I'm the same as you. I didn't want to take medicine or anything. And now I'm like, well, if you don't want to take medicine, then you have to eat well all the time. You have to, your body
Yeah.
needs to be regulated.
Well, yeah,
Yes.
I'm like the same way in the way that I reason like, okay, I actually would like give me the stuff that puts you in anesthesia. Give me that.
You
I
want
like,
that.
but
We're very different. I like this.
but I'm like, no, my brother gave me a kidney. I need to just
Oh, is
be,
that who gave you the kidney?
yeah,
That is so fucking sweet.
he's the nicest person alive.
Oh my God, dude. Yeah, that is something that will always get like did you know Kenny DeForest?
I know of him.
Yeah, I just one of this it's just
Yes.
because it's in his
Uh,
honor when he died, the fact that
I
like
know.
almost all of his
Yeah.
organs went to people. I'm like,
hmm I
oh, the fact that someone's got Kenny in them, fucking let's go.
I know. I liked that so much actually as a
Yeah.
recipient because that helps someone else. So I'm going to bring up a serious
Yeah.
article.
Yes.
And then we're actually at 30 minutes in this session, so
Dude,
we
we're
may
flying.
need to go into a third one to get to the second article that's going to be a little more funny. But so this is what I like to look at. A lot of these different things now. There's more and more that become over time. So we have for people listening only ADHD plus autism, hyper connected thinking. Now I do that because I read tarot and I do stuff like this and comedy. That's where that comes in, is when your thoughts are like the file cabinet that I kind of said. Whereas
Yep.
ADHD and OCD is a little bit more like you don't have that recall that you need to pull stuff out of the air on stage and remember your bits and things like that. Now, passionate, focused, and interest areas, that's something I've had for a long time. And but then I also have this attention and focus difficulties.
Interesting.
Okay, stimming and fidgeting. I didn't realize I'm actually doing it right now. If you look at my hand and I'm not paying attention to it, this is a
Yeah.
stim right here. I touch my hair a lot, which I'll notice myself doing it on camera, but I'm not doing it to be like, oh, do I look good? It's like I just touch my hair because it's like it's actually touching my chest and kind of makes me feel like a stimulation, like an overstimulated
Yes.
from that. And I'm like moving it, but then I'm like looking at the position of it because we have a
Yeah.
little OCD in my family too. But
Dude, is that, but I'll say this just because we're talking about it. And when you
yeah.
said the thing about like, I get the, like, I don't have that. I definitely do I think because I'm more on the 80, like when I'm looking at this, I'm a skin picky. I buy like the worst.
The
It's not
this
like a,
one guy I know
it's
does
not like
that.
a
He
this or
constantly
anything.
like picks it as like right here.
Bro, if I have something that resembles a pimple, I can
Mm.
create a pimple that I will make something come out of a hole.
So we'll read
I
all three
fucking,
for the people that are just listening. If anybody's on the
yeah,
Spotify
go ahead.
just
Yeah, yeah.
listening, all three of ADHD, OCD, and autism. There's many Venn diagrams. You can find like this all over the internet if you're wondering about yourself. But insomnia, constant. My whole life as a little kid, I didn't
Yes.
even go to bed at night.
Yes.
Nobody ever thought it was abnormal. My mom just worked nights, and I thought because she would come home at night, I would just wait up for her and be up till the whatever 2 o'clock in the morning that it was normal. But they actually say ADHD people, the best sleep schedule is 2 a.m. to 10 a.m. And that's been my preferred sleep schedule my whole life.
Yeah. Dude,
Anyway,
I literally have all three. I thought I was looking at different
all
things and
three:
picking them as three.
skin picking, hair
I
pulling.
definitely am all
I
three, 100%.
Intrusive thoughts. I don't deal with as much anymore, but I have high rate of
I've always,
depression,
yeah.
anxiety.
Mine are light, but I will have them, and I'm like, what the fuck? And when you
Yeah.
find out that some people don't have those, you're like, what? Okay,
Yes. High rates of depression, anxiety, eating disorder, self harm, and substance abuse. All three.
you're gone.
Executive
Fuck,
functioning
I can't hear anything you're
difficulties.
saying.
All three. Oh, shit. Damn internet.
I know.
It's
I
fine.
have my GI is fucked. We were talking about at the beginning. My GI is complete.
And then
Fucked.
I have all my like every one of my family deals with that kind of stuff. So I'm back. So we have executive functioning difficulties, sensory differences. Like I just said, my hair touching right here. Or if
Yes,
do you ever get like a thing on the side of your mouth, like you bite your lip and then you can
all
feel
day.
it
Earlier in the podcast, I
and you
tried to
just
stop because I
constantly
saw
like
it. Yes,
there's all different kinds of
fucking
sensory
shit.
things with socks. I know people can't wear like the socks with the line inside. There's two different kinds of
That doesn't.
autism
Yeah.
jokes where it's like, are you, it's not jokes, but it's real. It's like, are you the has to have socks on all the time in the house or never has socks on in the house?
I'm a little bi with the
So
socks. I
you might be
think
a little more ADHD
I
sided, but
I definitely think ADHD, but I guess I didn't know some
autism
of
is
this
when you're
autism is getting in
very,
there.
it's
Yeah.
when you're very firm on your things that like
No,
Like,
I'm not on firm. Yeah, I'm definitely not
yeah, so
autistic. That's
you,
cool.
yeah.
I mean,
I
not cool. If
mean,
you are,
well,
I mean, good for you, Sonia.
here's the ones that's like, well, it's a blend. It's a blend of
Yeah.
both. It's like self-soothes through the repetitive behaviors, yes, routines and collections. I have collections. In case you didn't notice, my art collection behind me, I have doll collection, like action figure collections. Here's
Yeah.
Chris Penn, Reservoir Dogs. It's actually
Let's go.
one of two limited edition. This one came out of the box by accident some years ago. But he just
Oh my
hangs out
God.
over here. Um,
Your Lemaire's coming out. Let's go.
that's what I mean. I'm like an autistic guy. Difficulty with neurotypical social communication patterns. That's the biggest one, which is what we were talking
Yeah.
about, where I will say things and my whole life. And then once I've kind of became self-aware about it and realized it wasn't just me being like a bitch to
Yeah.
people, I have just been like, well, this is just me. Just deal with the way I talk. Because
Yeah.
people even tell me the way I talk is too much sometimes.
I was talking to a comic the other day and he literally goes, I'm sorry. I didn't follow fucking anything you just said. And we were smoking weed, but he was like, and I told him, I was like, I didn't take offense to it because I was like, no, I know that I'm a lot. Like, I'm
Yeah.
not like it, but I'm not in a lot in the way where people are like, this guy's got to stop. They're just like, fuck, man. Just,
And that's
it's
his
like, it starts going,
ADHD. That's his
yeah,
lack of focus.
yeah,
Um,
that's funny. Yes.
Yeah. So it's like a lot of people have a lot of these. And I
I would
think,
say,
you
oh, sorry,
know,
go ahead.
no, I was
Yeah.
just gonna say, and doctors saying you have one or the other. So like the
Yeah.
ADHD and autism one, I'm definitely in this more than like, and have a lot of these.
This
I
is
have every
such a
one of
helpful.
these.
This is so fucking helpful. You
Yeah.
should anyone
So
who's not looked this up. This is just
yeah,
because it really and I feel like pretty quickly because sometimes you ever hear a list of things because you're trying to find out if you like have cancer or something and you're like,
every day of my life,
I kind of do that, yeah, or whatever.
every
I don't do
single day of my life.
but when I'm looking, I think I'm the most. I think I'm ADHD plus O3. I think I'm
Oh,
all
I
three a
closed out
little
of it.
bit.
Yeah.
But the things that I have the most over there was I almost forgot, which is part of it, the forgetting list. But I'll go
Yes.
into another room. But it's funny because we're talking about working on it. I go into another room and then I go, fuck, why am I in here? But the thing about myself is that I'm like, I am smart. So I literally scan the room like Terminator in that spot where I'm like, there is something in here. Right before the podcast, I was like, why am I in my closet? And I go, oh, I'm getting my fucking headphones.
All
And
day
so
long.
so that happens, but then the GI thing really stuck with me, and then the compulsive checking. I on the way to the airport, whenever I was like first start, because I didn't
I'll
fly
share it
like
again.
except for doing stand up.
Yes.
I would check for my passport, and I'm like, I just saw it, and it's in my bag. And then I go and I just check it again. I do fucking that's crazy.
Dude, and I always thought it was just like being a woman alone in the city, but I check for my keys in my
Yeah.
bag 7 to 10 times before
Yeah,
I
it's
will
never a
step my
stolen thing. It's
leg.
never like, oh, someone stole them. It's just
No,
me
it's like
being
I'm
like,
getting out of my car and I don't want to lock them inside.
yes,
And I'm like,
yep,
I'm that dumb that I will
yep,
drop them on the seat and I'm down here
yeah,
alone and I don't have any way to get home. So I'm
yeah.
just like, I look and
Well,
I touch it. I have to like touch it. Everybody in my family
yes,
says the same thing. I have to touch it and like make
yes,
sure it's really there. I
yeah,
do the same thing in airports. I'm like constantly opening my wallet,
yep.
constantly.
But the worst one my mom kind of gave to me, and I try to work through it, but it's tough. She would before we left, the amount of times we had to check the front door, turn around, make sure the
Mm-hmm.
oven wasn't on.
My mom too.
Yeah, dude. And it's not it's one of those ones where it's like, yeah, okay, you're just checking to make sure it doesn't happen, but it's just weird that how your brain works that you can't remember that you went glitch because your brain's already trying to work on the next task before it's there. But I will
Yeah.
say being mindful is something I do and as a person with ADHD, I'm not perfect, but I really am proud of how I work on myself and a clean work area or like because I do this thing. Do you ever get home if you go do show, even if you go to a show a little bit far away, like an overnight or whatever, I'll come home and not unpack that bag. Cause I'm like, well, soon I might have another overnight show. And I'm like, fucking unpack the bag. And if everything can go back into a spot, it's so much better.
Hold on. It's like, first of all, it's refreshing. Second of all, I've heard that that's like a state of mind thing for people
It
with
is.
okay. And third, as I was cleaning up to set up the room over here on this side of the room that I'm on tonight, I finally unpacked a suitcase that
Yeah.
I've been driving around with in my car packed in
Yes.
case I needed a bag for
Yes.
since October.
Yes.
I finally brought it in the house. It was sitting on the floor for 2 weeks until I finally was like, I am not gonna. I can pack a quick overnight bag,
Yes.
and then I still left like random pairs of underwear and socks that were like
Yeah.
in there. I'm like, well, these can just live in here just in
1,000.
case.
Yes, these are my always going socks, and I'm
So
like, dude, what are you doing? It feels so good to have everything having a place and trying to be more organized. It just helps with all these things because you still like as I'm looking at this, I'm like, you're always gonna have these things, but the more that you can set yourself up for success, it feels better having those things because I do think creatively these having these things are great. So whenever you
yeah.
can focus on the American things you have to do, like going to work, doing this,
First world
like
problems.
yeah, very first world problems, then you can like focus on other, yeah, you can like try to focus on other shit. That's so
Yeah.
man, this lit I love this lit. Sorry.
That's not your fault. Don't
I mean, why did I say,
apologize
yeah,
to
tell me.
me. Are you a people
I know.
pleaser too?
I know. Where's that?
It's not on
Oh,
here.
show pull up that fucking list. Oh
No,
my
I know.
God.
I get it. But what I was going to say was
Yeah.
a lot of these things are family passed down. So if you notice them in your parents, I noticed some of them in my grandparents. She is very OCD,
Yes. Yep.
very untreated OCD her whole life. And
Yes.
imagine like our generations and below are figuring this stuff out because we have access to information like
Yes.
this without needing to go see a psychologist or a
Yes.
therapist and go, oh, I think I might have some of these. And even if it helps
Right.
you to self-diagnose, everyone's hating on that. If you
Yeah.
can't afford to go to a therapist and and even then they can diagnose you wrong. Fuck them. They're just
Yeah.
people. If you,
Well, and also, yeah, what's wrong with self-help? If you did yoga, and no one's gonna get mad that you do
I
it, dude, self-help books rule. Because if you do the audiobooks, dude, I listened to one called like Adult Children for like parents who were also children or something like that. And the amount of times I was painting this house and I'm listening to that, and the amount of times I just go, oh my fucking God. Like there's just knowing that you're not alone is enough sometimes. Sometimes knowing that even though like sometimes when I bite my nails, don't I feel like I'm the only person on the planet who just bit it down to the fuck till it bled.
yeah.
And then I'm like, no, everyone on the planet's doing that. And it makes you kind of feel like you can
Yeah,
I
or a
don't know, like
certain
figure it
percentage
out.
are a
Yeah.
percentage of people. Oh, I'm not alone, and
Yeah.
I do highly recommend anyone who hasn't, if you're thinking you have things and you want to do something about them, you need to seek a professional. Like, if you can afford to go and get someone to tell you, well, I think you have this, you can always
Yeah.
argue and disagree with them, but they might bring up things that like just this little diagram really quickly.
Yeah. Well, just to know thyself is so. I feel like that's like I keep saying that a lot, but I'm like, just knowing yourself is good. So I feel like people who like, if you're like, I don't want someone to talk, like, come and someone can say something, you're totally allowed to be like, I don't believe that, but not,
Yeah.
but also no changing, dude. I feel like, especially as a comic, we were talking about that earlier, but like, you're always just changing. So especially as a person, change feels incredible. Like being a different person, like this. I love Alan Watson. I saw this quote, and he's like, you have no there's no reason you have to be the same person you were 5 minutes ago. You are under no obligation. And I'm like, yeah, you're not. So you can do that because everyone's had a productive day where they probably didn't do almost any of these. My nails will get almost to where there's a white at the top, and then I do them like a fucking cocaine addict, and I'm just like,
You're
yes, yes, yeah. All of they're gone. Did it
yeah.
2 nights ago. Bad.
Yeah. I know. That's
Yeah.
why I get the hard stuff on here.
I know my ex would do that. She like had she would do like that powder stuff that you were talking about, like and
Hmm.
everything and all that stuff. And she would like show how her nails would click, and I'm like, fuck, I could go for some of that on my nail. I was like, literally, like that's crazy. But
Yeah.
yeah, I would still bite those fucking
No,
pointers.
my best friend does she does that the same thing too, but she's like sometimes I'll still just try to bite it and like um
Yeah.
yeah, I don't know. So we're down to left to 1 minute and I still didn't get to pull up the funny article.
I know. Well, I'm sorry. I'm just
You don't
so
have to
much having so much
apologize to me. Don't say
fun.
sorry one more time
I know.
through
You
this
know
whole
what?
podcast. I'm
I
gonna get
won't.
mean.
You're
I'm gonna
right.
turn
And I'm
mean.
also not going to do that thing where people are like, "You're right," and I'm not. So I'm not going to do the opposite. I'm just not going to be sorry.
Yeah. If my internet cuts out, it's not your fault. It's the shitty internet here. Tell
Yeah.
Comcast Xfinity, get off their asses.
Yeah. Get mad at the right people, you fucking bum.
I'm gonna write a letter. Okay,
Yeah.
it's gonna stop on us.
Okay.
Welcome back. We said that already, but nobody heard it.
And we're back.
And we're back, and I feel like the internet's gonna kick out as soon as we start talking again. We were talking about the AUDHD OCD spectrum, and I will say I feel like I feel bad because a lot of people on the spectrum have ARFID. Do you know what that is?
No.
It's avoidant restrictive food intake disorder. Used to be known as picky eating disorder. and I make
Mhm.
fun of it a lot in a joke set that I have because I one of my exes, possibly Bobby. I really hope he doesn't listen to the podcast. I
Dude,
don't
this
care.
Bobby is getting ripped to pieces today.
Yeah, I mean, look, you shouldn't have fumbled me, but
Yeah.
not my
Bumbled,
fault.
you bumbled him.
He I shred him for being a picky eater on stage, like severely to where it irritated me as a eater. Like my family's big
Yeah.
eaters, and I like to try new restaurants and new foods, and he had never had a peanut butter and jelly sandwich before. Yeah,
That's like what picky eaters eat.
that's like what little kids eat. Yeah.
Yeah.
He was like that bad. It was worse than a little, but there's this like one guy on TikTok that I always see his like autism awareness like channel, and he's like his mom today posted a thing, and he's like 16 or something, but it's like his mom was like, "Are you gonna try any turkey this year?" And like he was like, and he just had a plate with a hot dog and then mustard and ketchup on the plate, and that was it. And he just dipped like the hot
Yeah.
dog, and she's like, he's like, "I'm fine with my hot dog." And it's like I've had cousins that have gotten shredded for like not wanting to eat at the table, and then their
Yeah.
parents will like force them to eat, and it's like not healthy because it's a disorder for some people.
Well, and it's interesting because I've never heard it as a disorder because when I was younger, I was picky. But up until literally, I would say 25.
Okay.
And then I remember because we were all hanging out as a bunch of comics and we were just poor comics hanging out and we're like, my stomach hurts. And they were like, and all they had was radishes. And I was like,
Oh,
ew,
that's
I
like
don't.
the worst
And I
too.
literally said that I was like, I don't think I like radishes.
Yeah.
And so again, I'm not saying that this is the same thing, but I guess because we were talking about us.
No, it
But
is
then
because
I remember eating it, and then I was like, I didn't like it. But what's weird is then I started eating way more foods, and I feel like there is something in it's what you take and goes in your body. So once I stopped eating just like fucking like DiGiorno's pizzas,
yeah.
the cultures in your stomach get better, like everything about your body gets better. So I get I'm not saying it's not a disorder, of course. I'm just saying that like it sucks that if maybe eating those foods, because I remember I remember the first time I started eating really healthy, like I was really eating healthy all the time. Then I got off of it, and then the first time I ate something healthy, my body, it felt like I was a kid. I was like, oh. And I was like, oh, I gotta like remember how to eat this shit. It's interesting because I feel like picky eater is in you all the time. But yeah, I had that. I've never heard of that disorder though. Never heard of
It's
that.
well, it's like because only because like I realized now years later that like oh he's like probably he was definitely like him and his brother are both like ADHD, probably on the spectrum too.
What would you think about this? What would you think about drinking this?
What the fuck is that?
That's just it's just great. Well, it's just powder. That's all. It's like what you're supposed to get in like, but if you eat
Oh,
greens,
like
but if you don't
greens.
eat
Well,
those,
I drink
yeah.
matcha, mushroom matcha in the morning, so that's like a similar.
Yeah. Isn't that supposed to be better than coffee for your gut and
Yeah,
everything too, right?
yeah.
Do you get is it have caffeine in it? I'm
It's
dumb.
caffeine. It's like six
Okay.
hours worth. It's of sustained energy instead of like coffee, where it's like they also have a mushroom coffee too.
Yeah.
And I
Well,
tried one of them.
the bass player from The Used, I started following him and he does matcha tea all the time and it looks cooler and I want to yeah, I'm like I want to do it,
Yeah.
but God, I coffee and weed. If literally all the other drugs could go fucking go away forever, those are my absolute favorite ones. Coffee and weed, best
Yeah.
drugs on the planet.
Yeah, I mean, I switched to the matcha after the transplant.
Oh yeah. Oh, I didn't even think about that with your because duh, it's processed through your fucking yeah, damn.
Yeah, and it's more acidic and like dehydrates you a little bit more. You have to like if I drink coffee, I have to drink like so much water to kind of like even it
Yeah.
out to rehydrate yourself because it's a diuretic. It makes you like
Yeah.
pee more, but you're peeing out like all your liquid.
Yeah.
So I don't know. I recommend it. You said my skin looks good, and like you know what?
Looks
Honestly,
incredible.
looks better since I started drinking that stuff. Like the
That's
day
good.
I started drinking that, I was like, oh well, it like looks like my skin's like brighter, like that.
Fuck, I might get me
Yeah.
because also I mean it's made the same way. You can do
They
it
make the
pour over,
coffee
right?
of it too. They make the
Yeah,
coffee of it. It's just like a powder. You just like whisk it up with water or whatever, and then put your creamer in it. Because I still put creamer in the matcha.
yeah. Well, that's
You,
something I don't do. I am good with like
you
I
just drink it
don't do
black.
creamer. Yeah, because that's
Oh, it's kind of weird tasting.
yeah.
Matcha's a little like grassy tasting, and then the mushroom matcha is a little
I'm not really
mushroomy
picky. Yeah, I'm not. Oh, the only thing I'm picky
sometimes.
with
I
now.
mean, you
Yeah,
are drinking that chlorophyll, whatever,
yeah.
water. So he would
Olives are the
get
only thing that are weird. Yeah, but I can
olives.
still eat them. I'm physically not a picky eater anymore.
They're
I will
weird.
try anything. Yeah,
Okay, so I say that too. I will try anything,
anything.
almost
Yes.
anything once.
I love it. Yeah, even like experiences, like not like I feel like some people you're like, okay, I'm not trying everything, but I feel like just being an experienced person, it feels Fucking yeah, so much better. But as you get older, that's the thing that sucks. I try to cut out anything. I'm like dairy might be the next one that has to go for me because it's so bad for how I shit all. Oh my God.
You
But
know,
yeah,
dairy with
yeah,
sugars in it is much worse than non-sugar dairy.
that makes sense because whenever I do Greek yogurt, and
Okay.
it's not pure Greek. I think it has like
It has
some
some sugars. You try to look for like
no,
the
and so it's not
no,
that bad, and it's not that. Well, I'm saying when I
the
eat it, it's
plain.
not terrible. Yeah, I need
Oh,
to try.
okay.
Yeah,
Well, that's
yeah.
adding good healthy stuff to your stomach. All right, Steve, speaking of stomachs,
Oh yeah.
I have another article here that I'm gonna bring up.
Pull that bitch up.
Um, but yeah. Oh, I forgot I pulled this up earlier when I was looking up Bobby's because I was like, what kind of name is it? And it was
Terrible.
like I said the name Bobby is not mentioned in the Bible at all. It gave me the suggestion of how popular is the name Bobby in the Bible, meaning
When
it
we were
is
in Catholic school, I looked at I all the time. Everyone's like Michael, every kid in class, and I'm like, my grandpa was the deacon. Why weren't they like Bobby's fucking? That sounds like a fucking Pentecostal name if I ever
neither.
heard. No,
Robert's
yeah,
not named in there.
no, no,
You
no.
think there's any babies that were born named Robert in the last 10 years? Or have they died out?
No, I'm trying to think. I'm not. I don't have a clear memory of this, but I feel like the one I do remember meeting, you were like, it's like one of those babies. You're like, oh, that is a baby. Okay, like it was one of the like you're like we named him Robert, and you're like, and oh, you ever see a couple that looks too much like each other? Like
Yes.
that's the only
Yes.
people still having a Robert.
I
Yes.
know I know one. So
The
they
one of those
might.
kids you can smell like they come and you're just like, why do you smell like you're always just got from you're running outside? Why do you stink? That's how a Robert today would smell. Yes.
Poor Robert, we're shredding him.
Yeah. Well,
Oh,
I can say that because I am one.
you are one, and I
I was
don't.
called Robert as a kid, so I
I
can say the
apologize. I
words.
apologize for my infractions against Roberts, but I also do
No, I'm
not.
on your side. I'm clearly on your side.
All right.
Let,
So we've got 10 unexpected discoveries involving vomit because we were talking
let's
about
go.
being sick. You were
Yes.
sick. I was sick. We were talking about stomachs and GI and foods, and
Yes.
Robert would gag. Throwing up might seem like an unpleasant topic for a list. I love a listicle on this podcast, but chunder, haven't heard that word in a long time, can be more intriguing than you might think. Scientists and experts have made many fascinating discoveries by examining people and animals as they heave. Vomit has helped scientists in Ecuador discover a new species of ant, let researchers in Utah study prehistoric diets, and made a fortune for a fishing crew in Yemen, just to name a few. Newton even believed he could cure the plague using frog vomit. Is that the guy that invented gravity, Isaac Newton? Uh, this,
Not all. He didn't kill it with all of his ideas.
yeah, this list explores 10 bizarre things we have learned thanks to the disgusting substance that is vomit. Read on if you've got the stomach for it. Sea cucumbers fend off predators by vomiting from their rears. They already look like dicks. I thought they came all the time when you would see them in like I always thought they were coming when you would see them in
Yes.
like nature videos
Yeah,
because
there's a
they
video on Wild Boys where they would like hold them and jerk them off, so it looked like they were coming.
yes, that's where I remember that from. The animal kingdom is a crazy place. Let's see. I thought it was going to play the video. I guess it's
Yeah, I
not.
want to see these things
I
vomit
want
from
to
their
see these
rears.
things expelling their rears.
Yeah, watch some
We could look it
vomits.
up probably on YouTube. Oh, low system resources. It's just my shitty
I'm so
computer.
sorry about your shitty computer. When I say
Hold
sorry,
on, let
I'm
me
like, I'm so sorry. Your computer.
I'm trying to get it. You shit. You
I
said
was
it.
joking.
Damn it.
I
Now I have to be mean. I've been trying
know.
to convince the men on the internet to give me money on TikTok Live to buy a new computer because I see them giving it to 23-year-olds all the damn time.
Those fucking 23-year-olds at the prime age, those fucks. Was there any better age than being 23? You're still an idiot, but
You're
you
still
like
an
you have a
idiot.
car.
You
Yeah.
have a car. That's what I always say when people are like, oh, it's fucked up to date younger people. I'm like, if you can drive yourself to the bar and get so drunk and drive yourself home, you are old enough to decide who you want to fuck.
Yes, but it does still
But
suck because all of their ideas you're gonna be like, you don't know who
like your
that band
brain's
is.
not fully formed yet. I'm
No.
sorry.
Yeah. Oh my
Um,
God.
I want to find that almost want to find that Wild Boys clip.
Oh, whoa, whoa, whoa!
um
We're here in the Adirondacks.
yeah.
Whatever they're
God, it was such a good show.
yeah, dude, that show ruled because they were like, and I think they asked Steve once, they're like, what was the wilder, like Wild Boys or Jackass? He's like, what? We swam with sharks. Like they were like, they got almost bit by, like, dude, they did. crazy stuff on that show, dude. I can't believe. And I'm like the Bam, like, dude, I fucking do not like snakes. I did a comedy show where I had five put on me, and
Uh,
people were like, "Did that help you?" And I'm like, "It helped me remind myself that I'm fucking scared of snakes."
Whoops, I didn't mean to do that. Um, yeah, I have a friend whose husband is like super like tough guy, but he like if he sees a snake in the yard, he's like,
Yeah.
ah!
Which I'm scared of snakes, but I feel like that when everyone's scared of spiders, and I'm like, you can do that, and a spider's gone. But if you
Yeah.
do that, you could have just like a pissed off snake. Like that's, you know what I mean? Like that's you
Yeah,
try to
they're
smash
they're
it.
sketchy. They'll like they'll kind of go into defense mode if it's a certain kinds. Like
Yeah.
I screeched when I saw like a little garden snake the one day, but only because I was like going out in the yard and like leaned on a tree to like
Yeah.
stand there, kind of stretch for a minute and like put my foot down to plant
Yes.
it in the grass. And then I just saw like in the grass and
Yes.
I was like, oh no,
Isn't
I don't
that
like
crazy
it.
that you see a deer? Isn't that crazy? It's in our DNA because you see a deer and you're startled, but then you're
Yeah.
like,
You're like, oh,
what a
beautiful.
beautiful,
Yeah.
majestic thing.
Yeah.
But then you see a snake and you go,
You're like,
ah, like your body, our DNA has known. We're like, I've seen my cousins for generations getting fucking fucked up by those things.
it's
It's
Christian
so
lore.
crazy.
It's
It is
Christian
Christian lore.
anti
Yes.
because snakes are they're not necessarily attack like they don't attack humans. They just are
Yeah.
if they're caught and they're already, they feel
Yeah.
scared and
Yes.
startled. Yeah, they're gonna attack whatever is fucking
Yes.
standing there.
Yeah.
But they're also
Which is
filled
not,
with
yeah, which is
poison, some of
nicer.
them.
Yeah,
Yeah.
some of the ones that are, yeah, the one that like if Venom Lack. And I'm like, if I'm rhyming, I'm running, dude. I'm not
Yeah.
standing around being like, oh no, the yellow's touching the yellow. I don't have, I'm fucking gone.
Let's see if that's not the right background. That's not the right one.
It's beautiful though. Did you take that fucking photo?
in the Grand Caymans or whatever, I don't know, the
Holy fuck,
Adirondacks.
that's incredible. Whoa. Ugh! And it comes out like kind of like cum a little bit. That I don't, it's not even just
It
squirting.
oozes kind of like it's
And it does that thing where parts of it are different whites than the other parts of the whites.
different shades. Yeah.
Yeah. And it all connects. And I love that that guy just fucking dumped it back in.
Here goes.
Oh,
Trigger
that's
warning.
guy's okay, that's just killing it. That was just killing it. That wasn't like I thought he was gonna make it squirt weirder. He just cut it
He
open.
just
Okay.
murdered it.
Okay. Yeah, why did they shoot out their intestines? Because he cut their fucking stomachs open. Ew. The guy's eating ramen noodles.
Disgusting.
Oh,
They're
gross.
defenseless, so they shoot out their intestines. Is what is happening there.
Oh, so then they don't get to oh, and then afterwards do
It
they
sucks
die?
back up, I think. Hold on, let's see.
Okay.
This is an
Why did
underrated defense mechanism. Are you going to shoot out your hemorrhoids at people?
Yeah.
That's what they are. It's your intestines poking out through the skin walls.
Yep, that's exactly what's coming up. And I don't, oh, it's a little too much like cum.
It's
And I
so
don't like that to
cummy.
make them do it. You
You
jerk them
jerk them a
off.
little.
What? Stop it, mister. I hate that guy has homeless gloves on. Dude, it looks like Big J. Ah! Oh my God. Ah! Fuck. I don't like that.
Oh my
Okay.
God. No, I didn't mean to play it again. That was too
I-
much as it was. What
Whoa.
if that was human men's defense was to shoot intestines out of their ass like Akira or something and like
Yeah, that would be a way that well it is kind of what I guess some guys do, and then you get arrested. You're like, I was defending myself. You're like, I wasn't jerking off on the bus. I was emptying out my intestines. That is such a weird thing. And people are like, we're all connected. I'm like, that's part of me. Like those sea
I don't
cucumbers.
believe it.
That's
I think, see, there's an old episode of the podcast already up. I shared a clip from it last week. I think sea creatures are aliens from another planet.
I think we're aliens too. I think anything that's not like classic nature, which is trees and like literally like
Well, wait a minute, because
owls
I just
and
saw
all that.
somebody say today that sharks are older than trees.
I've heard that too, and they look more like dinosaurs, so they get a pass. But
Yeah.
dinosaurs and anything they don't like trees and stuff, like we don't seem like we're from here. I think someone shot us from
Dropped
another
us here
planet.
too.
Well, and we get sick,
Yeah.
like literally every season we're like, I can't breathe. Like
Yeah,
every season,
You're like,
I
I
don't
my
think we belong
my
here. It's not, and
lungs
that's a
don't
bit I've
work.
heard other people do. I've heard like
True.
I can't think of a comic that did that. They're
Yeah.
like, we don't belong here. But like legit, after they said it, like the more anytime I feel weird, I'm like, yeah, we don't completely belong here. Like we have so many things you need. If you're like, I'm gonna go for a run, they're like, you better spray your body with fucking like, it's crazy, dude.
Yeah, I
Yeah.
mean, like we're definitely like an alien to the planet because like mosquitoes like want to attack us and kill us.
I was just gonna say, well, and even
Like,
like when you ever see a horse when they have like like all the flies around them, they just
yeah.
keep going like this. They're used to it. We're like unacceptable, fucking unacceptable. It's
Yeah,
preposterous.
I mean, I mean, look, the theories of like if you want to say, sure, God made m- Adam and Eve certain on another planet and then flew here in a spaceship and dropped them off and was like, I need to
Yeah,
go back now. I'll watch you
yeah,
guys from my special telescope that I can see everyone from
yes,
because I'm
yep,
omnipresent or omnipotent or whatever.
yes,
And I believe it. I believe it kind of that it was the ancient aliens version of religion.
yeah. I
And
don't know
they
what I believe. All of the explanations, every single one of them, even the one I like the most, which is like that the it can't like the like we all just it just kept splitting and stuff. But even whenever you hear that, you're like, but how the first one be doing that?
yeah,
Like how
yeah, like
like and I it's like all of them seem crazy and for anyone to be like I have the like answer, I'm always just like that's crazy. Even whenever someone's crazy, it's like it was the Big Bang and I'm like were you here for the banging?
yeah.
Were you here for the fucking I don't think you were here banging it out.
And here's the thing. Yeah, this is my constant recommendation to many comics people, and I've probably said it on the podcast. Even if you hate this guy, watch Religulous if you haven't. It's a movie.
Oh yeah.
You've
That's
seen
I
it?
love the ending with his
Okay.
mom. When
That's the part
that's
you're
the
about to say.
sweetest part. Yeah.
It's the part to remember is maybe your version just isn't right. Because I
Yeah.
play with religion on stage, but I'm like
Yeah.
cool with the idea of it because it's important to have something to believe in.
Sure. Yeah, you can't hate anyone. Yeah, you can't hate anyone, especially for being different. That's why
Yeah.
what make the whole thing go around. But yeah, I do love the Rory Scovel has this really funny joke where his daughter comes up to him and asks him, she's like, "Daddy, is God real?" And he goes, "Honey, I don't know, and no one knows, and anyone who is telling you that is lying to you." And his wife's like, maybe let's step it back a little bit. I just think
Yeah.
that that's
No,
so
it's like
funny. That's such a funny thing because like when I was a kid, I definitely was religious and it is nice knowing that someone's like there for you. But then as you grow up, it feels like that Santa Claus thing. You'll just be like, oh, it was like a thing I kind of like believed in. And when someone else believes in it, you're like, hey, sick. Yeah, get your presents on fucking Christmas or whatever. But the older I get, I met this girl the other day and because she was bartending at that we did. And I got off stage and she goes, "Oh my God, you were so funny." And she was like, "Here, add me on Instagram." And she goes, "You're not going to like my bio." And because I have a joke about like, I make fun of God. I say God's gay. And she goes, "You're not going to like my bio." And she reads it and it says God before everything. One of those things. And because
sure.
I wasn't, and I told her, I was like, "Hey, I'm not being rude." Because I like having that conversation. I just think it's funny. I was like, but what if it was the above all else was to like kill a bunch of people? And she was like, and she swear to God, she just goes, God above all else. And I was like, okay, interesting. Because I'm not going to try to change that person because even if you do, I also don't have any guidance beyond that. So I'm not trying to like change your mind and then tell you what to do. I'm just like, okay, interesting. Because I used to believe like, dude, I believe some crazy shit, dude. You believe crazy shit. And then, but once you get older, you start to see what stuff actually lines up. I still do it a lot. My newest one is trying to be like, is being nice a commodity or is it actually good in the world? Like if someone's obviously falls in the middle of the street, you help them, but just politeness, like we were talking
Is it
about.
social credit score stuff? Kind of.
Hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then people like covert narcissists do things like that for that. They'll like, oh, I have to help them, but they would push their own mother down in the street, like that kind of energy. So that's like covert
Yeah.
narcissist. Like, but because I think of it as God might just be the energy source that we all
Of
refer
course.
to, and
Yes.
people needed to put a label on it and call
Yes.
it something because they couldn't wrap
Yeah.
their mind around the concepts that we now
Yeah.
have the technology. Because when you think about
Yes.
technology and the web and our interconnectedness, the collective unconscious, all of our thoughts, our prayers. All of
Yeah.
your thoughts are prayers. So you have to be careful.
Yeah.
If you think bad things, you're going to pray for bad things to
Yeah.
happen to you. If you're subconsciously going, I hope I don't get another flat
Yeah.
tire this month, you're probably going to get another fucking flat tire.
Yeah.
And you have to be careful just because you don't ask and say, Dear Jesus, please send
Yeah.
me whatever. You're
Yeah.
not praying all the time. And
Yeah.
so that's where I say, like, I think you have to believe in something.
I do, yeah, because
Um,
I tried to shake religion, and I do agree with that. I've shook off religion for sure, but then I felt like the stickiness that I was like, I can't get it all the way off, and that, and I describe it as just, we'll say spirituality, is
yes.
that this like beautiful, there is that when people put God or whatever, there is this undeniable feeling that you're just like even when you said thoughts, like even when you can, the having thoughts is a wild, mysterious fucking thing. Like, you know what I mean? Like
Like,
having
yeah.
thoughts,
Like
pictures
how
in your
some
head.
people don't have that.
Yeah. Yes. Yes. Which is when I'm like, I can't, that's even hard to imagine or whatever. But yeah, but I do agree. I do agree with that it's like that there is, yeah, there's like something going on. But yeah, the religion thing, as I get older, I'm like, that's crazy.
It's
But I
what
do,
did it,
yeah,
yeah.
something to connecting to something, making this all seem like there's something beautiful or whatever. Like I saw something really cool that was like nature is like God's nature or whatever, and like it, like this thing you said, it's like if you think it's good, if you see it's all bad, then it's like, then that's what I am to you. If you see that it's like beautiful, then that's what I can be to you. It's like what you want to pull out. Cause I am a big manifester. I don't think it's like you burn stuff and that happens, but I think constant thought and then putting it into action is
Yeah.
like how you do stuff or whatever. And then the
Yeah.
ADHD gets in the way. That fucking,
I know, but I firmly believe that the things you constantly do and think are creating your like energy that your body is cycling in and out. And when you do think too negative all the time, you will just, my mother's like that, just become negative. Everything
yeah,
in your life is negative because you're just
yeah,
attracting negativity. But when you
yeah,
cycle it towards, and religion helps people do that. Religion is
yeah,
important in ways where I wish it wasn't about my God's cooler than your God, my God's better than your God, my God wants me to kill you, my God hates you because you're this type of person. And I think that's man-made ideas that are written into books. And that's, I start up my stand-up stuff with a little bit of playing with that idea of how it's written down by people on feather pens or whatever the fuck the first Bible was written down on. It was
yeah,
word of mouth for a long time to kind of come here and like if my theory's right about an alien god from another planet or another a source being that can transform into human and put two seeds of humans on earth that were already fully or put one and was fully grown and he created a second a lady one and she was suddenly fully grown. They don't go through any type of birth cycle growing into adulthood like the rest of us do. They're just suddenly planted here, which the only way could be if someone came here and landed with two
yeah,
adults and then they
yeah.
made up the story and God said, now you tell them that you created her from your rib and then pass down that story for a long time and that's the way because then why aren't other people created that way? Why don't men give
Sure.
birth to people by pulling a rib out and
Yeah,
creating a person? It
yeah.
doesn't explain the birth cycle in there
It
because
doesn't.
largely everyone was stupid back then. No one
Yeah.
knew anything about information
Oh, you
and
cut
they
out.
needed, especially in the Middle Ages, to keep people docile and not killing each other in fucking bars over a loose potato or whatever. You know what I mean? Like, or a
Yeah.
beer, like stabbing
Yeah.
people with
It
a
was it.
sharpened
Yeah.
bone to like
Yeah.
stop
There was a
them.
TikTok. Yeah. There's a TikTok that said just that he was like, these are just stories. And he goes, and the first lie ever told was from God. And dude, I watched this video and I was like, I've never thought about that. He goes, the first lie ever told was to Adam. He was like, Adam and Eve, he was like, you can't eat this apple. And then they did. And it
Yeah.
was actually okay. And it just opened, the devil was like, no, it opened your eyes to it. So even if that is the ideals that you like follow or whatever, but yeah, I'm with the religious thing. I think that it's like no one knows. And I think that that's that beautiful thing that you get to know is that like when you die that like I don't know, it just feels like, I mean, you just go back into the earth, you're atoms, you go back into the earth, it's a recycle factory. Even if you get die a bad way, good way, whatever, it's like you get, it all gets used
This
again. It's
part
just
this
here.
part just
Yeah.
becomes earth or
Yeah.
whatever you
Yeah.
turn into and then
Yeah.
the soul leaves the body. There's documented scientific evidence of souls are
I know I heard about that where they like weighed a body. Do you ever hear about that?
not that particularly, but have read some other stuff. And it
Yeah,
was
where they're
lighter
like a
or
soul has
something.
weight. Yeah, like a soul has weight. And the only I get that, I get how there's that beautifulness because we are connected. We seem this like electrical thing.
We're electric.
yes, we are electric, but I have a really hard time thinking about I don't know about
Read a book, okay? Read a book or listen to it called "The Body Keeps the Score." No, sorry, wrong one. Read that one anyway. That one's about trauma. But read Many Lives, Many Masters. Probably the
okay.
third time I've brought it up on the podcast. It's a constant thing
Yeah,
because it's something I read years ago about documented evidence of a like an ICU ward where you're about to die, usually in people's in comas, etc., where they have the most
yeah,
near death experiences. Every person, they did this thing in this where they would put at the top of a very tall medical file cabinet, they put the staff put little post-its with like goodbye or whatever little messages, and people, every person who's ever documented leaving their body, it's the same like ascension of your energy up this way, and you can see yourself downward and you just feel yourself lifting. So all these people came back and could tell them what words were on the top of the cabinets without ever having left the bed when they had those near death experiences. Which I talked to a guy a while ago. I was working with him at one of the shows I used to run who had a near death experience. And he said, I said, what is it? Heaven? Where do we go? Because that's the part a lot of us focus on, I think, about religion is it's heaven is the big end goal. It's not always about the traditional like values that are written into these religions that are about, for some reason, having a lot to do with marriage, which is where I get a little like, okay, why is God so concerned about that?
yeah. I
But
don't like. I think it's
you
dumb.
know, it's
Yeah,
like marriage is for property value and stuff. It's like love is not
yeah,
marriage. Marriage is like a
yeah.
contract and it's
Right.
human made. It's man made. I said to the guy that I met that was telling me about this, he drowned in a pool when he was drunk
Yeah.
and it got was in a coma and everything in the ward for a while, and he had some kind of near death thing where I said, "Did you go to heaven?" And he goes, "No." I goes, "Was it hell?" And he goes, "No." And I was like, did you go to another universe?
Yeah.
Because sometimes I think that's what happens. Sometimes I think your soul just blips into another universe once this body is like physically destroyed, and the
Sure.
brain that runs on pure electrical charge can't alight the circuits that run
Sure.
that harness the soul inside of us. All right, but
Interesting.
he just looked at me real deadpan and was just like, it was the other place.
Yeah.
And my grandma was there and she said, "What are you doing here? You're not supposed to be here yet." And like a lot
Yeah.
of people have reports like that of seeing passed over relatives. And I was like, "What do you mean?" He goes, "It was just the other place."
Yeah.
And who knows? It could have literally
Sure.
been another dimension, another universe, another
Sure.
time period. Because I just saw something today somebody posted about when you have deja vu. I've always thought that meant you were like at a point where you were supposed to be in your life or something, like some kind of signal from the universe that you were like where you're. But then this guy said, what if his theory was, what if that's something about like you I forget, but my theory on that is I think it's like your soul knows when you have something happen with someone that like you've experienced a similar thing in another in the past, which is happening right now too.
Yeah, I
And-
love spiritual talks, but I think you can look it up. I could be wrong. I think scientifically they proved that it's just your synapses making you think that it just happened, but
oh.
yeah, it's like a movie skipping. It's actually a little bit more like it
Oh,
just
it's just like a neurological disorder.
yes,
That's
yes.
funny. I like
And then the
that.
one thing, well, then just to backtrack a little bit, because I'm not, because we're very much, I was like, I think a lot of that stuff is beautiful. The only thing I think about, and I want to hear your feelings on this,
Yeah, yeah.
is so whenever you say that that person died and people say that like clinically they're dead, that's based on all of our
Charting and
charting of what
yes.
being alive is. So
Sure.
I think that if we're gonna assume in this conversation that someone has a soul, it's like, well, it never got completely untethered. So you didn't make it to, if you were flying to Tampa, people are like, is the Tampa exist? And he's like, I don't know. It's like, well, yeah, you never, but you didn't leave here. Do you know what I
Yeah.
mean? So
Yeah.
that's all I was gonna say with that, is because I feel like a lot of people say it's like they'll come back and they're like, well, it was nothing. And it's like, well, yeah, because you were in a coma. Like it would be weird if while in a coma they gave you a little heaven, like or whatever.
Well,
But
that's
you
why,
know what I
like,
mean?
yeah, that's why
Yeah.
that guy, I kind of like, once I met him and talked to him in person, and he wasn't a
Yeah.
comedian, he was the cook at like the
Yeah.
show. And I was like, oh, I have a podcast about weird stuff, blah, 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 and just rant. And then he starts telling me the story. When he said it, my like bones kind of went cold. Do you know what I
Sure.
mean? Like, I felt
Yeah.
like, oh, it was weird. He didn't say, like, because other people have reported seeing like a hall of television screens that you go in and look at and watch your life in review, and then you
Yeah.
go and do this
So
and
funny that
that.
like
And
what did they do before TVs were real? Like
yeah,
they
I
literally
know.
like
Like,
that's they're like, holy shit, what the hell
yeah.
is that?
But like, what if like, is it
Yeah.
like a dream state? We don't know.
Yeah.
Not, but
I
I think
know.
that's where religion kind of tries to, you know,
Pigeonhole it.
yeah, where it's like, well, you got to
Yes.
go to heaven. You got to
Yes.
go to heaven. And like, because Catholic, I joke about this on stage, is like the easiest one is like, well, all I have to do is just say a bunch of Hail Marys and I'm good to go. It doesn't matter if I
I
killed a guy.
know.
Doesn't
I
matter if I
know.
killed a guy.
I
I
hate
can
that.
just pray my way out of it. And that's why I make fun of Catholicism a little bit.
Yes.
Christianity is like a little bit more, you have to be like a good person actually,
Yes.
and kind of like, you know, agree that Jesus is your friend. I'm like, me and Jesus are
Yeah.
cool. We are cool. I
Yeah.
don't understand why his dad is God sometimes and then he is God sometimes.
Yeah.
That's where I get a little tied up, and why there's 20,000 different variations of
Yeah.
Christianity,
Yeah.
Episcopal, fucking Pentecostal, Baptist, all these different,
Yeah.
the man-made parts of it get to me to where
Yeah.
I'm like, if I could just, I talk to God all the time. So I'm
Yeah.
like, you
Well,
know,
Jesus, yeah, Jesus seems like the cool one. I was like, his
yeah.
dad's the one who sucks.
Jesus is
It's
like a
like Jesus
guy.
seemed
Jesus is a
cool.
guy. Jesus is
Yeah.
relatable because he's a guy. He's
His dad's like
God,
that guy
but
that's upstairs yelling, and
he's
he's like,
pissed. Yeah.
he's like,
He's
shh, he's
you're like,
fine.
is he still fucking talking? You're like, yeah,
Yeah.
just don't worry, he'll go to
Just,
bed. He's
yeah.
old.
Yeah.
He's very old school. Anyway,
Yeah.
we had some stuff left on the article here, but I don't know if we'll have time to get to them all. We could start to. I have a couple more things I pulled up. We got so
Sure.
distracted with our sea cucumbers. I don't know how we ended up on Jesus,
I
but
don't,
here we
it's
are.
just where we all do.
T
Tiger ate a land mammal.
Tiger, I think this so this shark eats the spiky. Have you ever seen those spiky
Like, kind of like cucumbers.
yeah, but like it's got things coming out of it. This thing.
Oh,
So it's like a porcupine, but like a sea
that thing's from
porcupine
the
kind of, or
sea?
like a
Yeah.
hedgehog, I think.
Oh.
I don't
And
I think they can go in and out. Let's see. I'm not sure.
bro,
Never
and a
really thought
shark probably
about these.
regrets eating that,
Well,
dude.
that's
That's
what I think this article is saying here, that it made the shark throw up. And at the bottom, all I'm going to point out is it just says like sharks. It's rare that tiger sharks throw up their food.
oh,
So maybe it just
gross.
choked him out, they're kind of saying. So
Yeah.
I've heard of this
I have this.
before.
I
You
yes,
have
I've heard
this
of
where
this
weed
too.
makes you throw up?
No, but I do smoke a lot, and I don't know if it's nicotine or whatever, and I don't throw up, but I get very like, and I have to stop everything, and I feel very just nauseous, ill. Don't
You
throw
might
up.
have POTS. Look that
What's
up.
that? What's that?
Postural orthotic tachycardia syndrome, something like that. Something where you get head rushes and different weird dizziness and things because of like certain positions your body's in more than anything else.
Yes. It
I,
that's so I've described it to people, and it's the only, you ever have like a weird thing and then you meet someone else and they have it and you're like, "Oh, thank God." I've never met someone who has this. I always describe to them what I have it. I don't we're not to do it right now, but I'll describe it and they're like,
My one
"What the fuck?
cousin had a
I need
weird thing for
pots."
years where she had to take extra salt. They were telling her to put salt in her water because they thought she just had this low blood pressure. Because she would always get that thing where if you stand up too fast, you get dizzy. That's a
Yeah.
symptom of it.
Uh-huh.
But this, we had a friend of ours that used to throw up when he would smoke when we were younger. We like, he passed out one time here at a party, like in the bathroom in front of the door. We couldn't open the door because he was like long ways on the floor, passed out. But he
Yeah.
went in the bathroom to throw up after we smoked a bong. And there's this thing called like cannabis, there it is. I can't say it. That's my stutter coming out. Cannabinoid hyperemesis syndrome. And I've heard of this before. It's like an allergy to weed, we used to call it. It makes them throw up.
Yeah.
It literally makes people throw up
Ugh.
from weed, which is very odd because usually it's for
Yeah.
nausea. Like I use
Yes.
it for nausea. So that's an
Like that.
interesting vomit fact. All right,
Yeah.
now, oh, I've always heard this weird thing about flies and how when they land on your food, they like throw up on your food first.
They shit every time.
Is
Yes.
that what it is? They pick,
Yes.
yeah, they let's see here. They vomit to dissolve the food. So when they land, they throw up a little bit to like pre-digest it.
Ugh.
So if you ever see
Cool.
a fly land on your food and you eat it, I don't know if the 5 second rule applies there. This website's so janky. Whatever, list verse. None of these videos are playing. All right, so this is fossilized vomit from 150 million years ago. They found,
Man, I would
and
love to see a T-Rex fucking blow chunks. Oh my God.
that
Because I
would be
wonder if picturing a T-Rex doing it like a cat, which they are the best vomiters, just the fucking bass drop of just but the bass drop.
I
Fucking
mean, well,
love it.
I don't they say that dinosaurs and birds are connected, so I feel like it would be baby birding, but like on a huge
Yes.
scale.
Yes.
Like the mama fucking T-Rex is like, huh,
Yes.
huh,
Yeah.
huh.
I've never seen a giraffe throw up. Do they like whip it out?
Ooh, I
Yeah.
wonder. We're gonna have to look that up after this. We're gonna look up if
Yes.
giraffes throw up.
Yes.
Basically, they were just saying that it's let's see, they aren't sure what creature produced this vomit, but
Some drunk bitch.
they found tiny chunks of tiny bones from frogs that was eating things. All right, this is interesting. A chunk of whale vomit sold for 1.5 million. I don't know
Who
why.
the
Let's see here.
fuck
The
bought that?
substance produced in in the sperm whales in the intestines can fetch a pretty penny. A crew in Yemen hauled 280-pound lump worth around 1.5 million. Whale vomit is highly pungent. I bet it is. But experts call it floating gold for its rareness and value. Ambergris is highly sought after by perfumers. The substance is used by brands like Lanvin and Chanel to create high-end fragrances. No wonder I never liked Chanel perfume.
Yeah, I hate, dude. I'll be honest. I don't like girls when they have perfume on, they smell good. I'm not a big fan. I don't, for guys or girls. I don't think, I think we should
I
just smell like
I I,
people. I like
I
light
like
smells.
yeah, I do like vanilla body spray,
It
and
smells,
that's
like I said, it smells so good, but perfume, yes,
perfume, like
perfume straight.
flowery perfume sometimes, but like the
No,
fact that it's inexpensive. I've heard not to use perfume. It's like bad for you, but
it's so
uh
funny. This is a job. Picturing like someone's like, some like wife calling. He's like, yeah, I'm paying the bills right now. I'm a little busy, just fucking cleaning up vomit.
we're back, and it's like been 4 hours now of recording here. I feel bad for holding Bobby captive, but
No, we had so much fun.
we had so much fun. We had such terrible ADHD issues that I forgot to hit record, and we got to the end of a very funny. These last few in the listicle. I know the listicle has not been that interesting so far, but we had some very good observations here after we learned about the new species of ant that was discovered. Let's see here. Let's give this a little share. New species of ant. I know we were talking about how there's like, why do we even need more ants? So not all
Yes.
vomit discoveries are not created equal, but this next one is not. I don't know if it's good or bad. So we have Isaac Newton. We already discussed how he invented gravity, and he thought that for some reason toad vomit could cure the plague.
Yes, which is hilarious. I think here's the thing. If you're gonna if you get if you discover gravity, you get pretty cocky. And I love that this guy was like, we got to read through this because this is insane.
Yeah. But he was like, he's like, guys, you know how I invented gravity, right? Ready?
Yes. Well, and then, dude, we were literally because dude, we were talking about this last, like when we just recorded this, but he does this and how he does this, he suspends these toads. And I was like, he found it the same way he found gravity. He was laying down and like a toad threw up in his mouth and he's like, that has to do something, right?
he, he suddenly was like had energy and felt better and was like, "This is medicine."
Yeah. And literally he hung it upside down and he's like, you let it hang upside down in a chimney and then it throws up. And while he was doing it, because he's the gravity guy, he was like, and we're going to use this using gravity. And it's so stupid, dude. And
He's
it just gets, yeah, I think this is his Tesla truck. He's been
Yes.
killing it. And he's like, you know what? What if toad
What
vomit
if?
cures this? And everyone's like,
Listen,
oh, sure. Yes.
yeah.
100%.
At that point, you can't like say no to him. He'll cut you off. He won't be your friend anymore. But it said, yeah, this article says his unpublished notes reveal that he thought powdered frog vomit would help cure the plague, which we know was a huge killer of many people back in the day. It's back now. Maybe we'll have to get Isaac Newton and dig him up from the grave, powder him, fucking ingest him if we get the
Yes.
plague from
Yes.
squirrels in Denver or wherever the fuck they are. Um, on top of the plague cures, he wrote the best plague cure on the topic of plague cures. The best is a toad suspended by the legs in a chimney for 3 days. 3 days. We forgot to mention that.
Dude, I can just see him eating peanuts. He's like, it's the best one. And they're like, well, I actually heard it was like eating healthy. He's like, it's bullshit. It's toad vomit. Oh, you want to beat the plague or not? I don't know what to tell you.
So the toad, he would torture these toads. He's doing torture. He's hanging them upside down, not for any reason. Then they would finally vomit, obviously from just being upside down. Their insides just fell out, earth and various insects into it. He could have just got some dirt and insects and maybe like extracted some stomach acid from a
Yeah.
frog, but he was like, no, it's because it digested it in there and threw it up onto a dish of yellow wax. And shortly after, the toads die. Combining powdered toad with the excretions and serum made into lozenges and worn about the affected area. He was doing like salves, I thought he was going to eat it. I
I thought
thought
so. I thought so too. I didn't. Yeah. The fact that you're like making a frog like throw up on your elbow and then your
you're
belly
like
and then your
rubbing it
leg.
in like it's
Yeah.
leech therapy or
Well, do
whatever.
you want to get better or not?
Do you want the plague to go away or not?
That's what I
this is
thought.
your this is your only option.
Yeah.
He thought it drew out
Bullshit.
the contagion, drove away the contagion, and drew out the poison. I mean, people believe a lot of things about health. Anyway, so that was figured out in 2020 when some manuscript of him. All right, so we're down to the last two. This one is pig puke toxin helps identify meteorite origins. All right, let's see
Thank
what's going on here.
God for pig puke.
I mean, they are disgusting and they puke. In 1929, staff discovered a Martian meteorite in the biology department of Purdue University. Okay, I have one question. Why are these universities and stuff and museums finding things? Because I just saw a thing about the Philly Move bombing. Do you know the story about them bombing a certain group of houses that were obviously people they didn't want in that neighborhood because they were a certain type of people, very racist reason. The city burned down homes in like the
I didn't know about this.
70s. Yeah,
No.
so in the 70s, they burned down a section of that they like they didn't want black people there, essentially. It's fucked up. It's fucked up history and part of Philly. So that I just saw a TikTok where it was like, or a news clip or something that was like, they found a body of like one of the people from that bombing in a museum, just sitting in the annals of like whatever in the stock room. And I
Oh
was like,
my
what the
God.
fuck? But now I'm reading this. It says 1929. So this is 1929. They didn't have that big of a collection back then. The museum couldn't have been that big in 1929. And that's the year my grandmother was born. There's, but no one in the college could explain how it got there.
Yeah.
That's the same thing they said about this body that was in the back. It's 2024. They couldn't figure out where. Anyway, the mystery of the Lafayette meteorite left researchers scratching their heads for nearly a century. Okay. They thought it had been donated by a black student.
Funniest part of the article.
Wait a minute.
Easily funniest part of the article. They're
They were like a black guy brought this.
yeah, yeah,
I
yeah.
don't I don't know where it came from.
Yeah. That's so funny. They're like, who brought this here? And that's the only thing someone contributed. And they're like, my hypothesis might have been a black guy.
I think I saw a black guy around with it.
Yeah. I don't know. I don't know for sure, but it could have been. But
Was that
anyways,
was that a racial epithet that
yeah.
in 1929 that if someone had a meteorite like a Martian like a from because it's
Yeah.
illegal to have
Yeah.
UFO property.
Yeah. We can't tell. We can't tell. We can totally tell that this is a meteor. We know it's not a rock. Don't get fucking confused. But we don't know if a black guy dropped this off. We
Yeah, I
just
don't,
can't
it
remember.
wasn't any of us.
Yeah. It's,
It was
oh my
not
God.
any of us. Not.
The
Uh,
next sentence is what kills me. It says, but no one was quite sure when or by whom. That sentence is so well written. But before the sentence is, hey, I thought it was a black guy.
look,
That's
I'm
the
not saying it
sentence.
was a black guy, but it might have been a black guy.
I'm not saying who or whom, but I'm saying the whom it was a black guy. That's so funny. All
Um,
right.
that was until 2022. This is 2 years ago. This is my grandmother's whole life. They didn't know.
And her whole life, she's like, I just want to know.
She's
Please
like,
tell
I
me
think it was a black guy, but honestly,
who
I would
donated
really.
that meteorite. On her deathbed, she's like, did they ever find out?
Was it a black guy or not?
Yes.
I didn't know that was. I didn't know that was a thing. Anyway, Dr. Ain O'Brien finally shed some light on the elusive donor. Dr. O'Brien used mass spectrometry to identify organic compounds in the rock. Among the hundreds of chemicals, one stood out a substance known as vomitoxin. It might sound revolting, but it occurs naturally in corn and wheat. No wonder we're not supposed to eat that. So
Yeah, you're not supposed to. Yeah, they're like, "Are you want to eat gluten?" You're like, "No, that's fucking throw up. I'm
that's
not
gonna
eating
turn my
fucking vomit.
intestines into throw
I'm
up.
not supposed to eat that.
The
It makes me
tox,
fucking shit." Yeah.
yeah. I don't want any. I don't want any pig toxin. The toxin is
No.
produced by fungi and can cause nausea if ingested in high doses, especially by pigs. I have heard that about wheat and corn going bad while it
Yeah.
sits in like bins, and then that's what makes a lot of people sick from
Yeah.
eating the gluten because it turns bad. First, they just like bleach it and cook it, and then turn it into
Yeah.
flour. Anyway, Dr. O'Brien studied the crop yields and the fungi levels around Purdue. With this, she traced the rock's likely origin to two fireball sightings, one in 1919, the other in 1927. She scoured the yearbooks to find black students enrolled in those years.
I can't find any. It's like we're not letting them in the school. It's like it's almost as if we're at the problem.
She's like, well, there's only four in a decade.
Yeah.
So has anybody seen a black guy in the last 10 years?
Anybody.
Anybody?
Literally
Raise your
anybody.
hand. Don't be afraid.
Were they carrying a meteor when you saw them?
Did they have any alien meteorites?
Yeah.
Martian meteorites? After 2 years of sleuthing, she narrowed the mystery donor to one of four candidates: Julius Lee Morgan or Julius, Clinton Edward Shaw,
Doesn't sound. It sounds white to me.
The only Clintons I know are currently white, but and Hermans, Edwin Fauntleroy, Hermans, Edwin, I don't know, all studied at Purdue around 1919, while Clyde Silance, that sounds like a horse's name. I hope I'm not being rude to a dead black guy, attended around 1927. Dr. O'Brien believes one of those men discovered the Lafayette meteorite in a pond and gifted it to the college, but she concedes that we may never know the true story of how such a remarkable object came into the hands of the university.
Or who fucking brought it? Who brought this? We have to know.
That they will never know, but they're pretty sure it was a black guy this whole
Yes.
time. That's what
Yeah.
they're going with.
They put up a statue of him, but it's like just like a black guy. Like they just are all like just like get it close.
It wasn't
That's
good enough
so
for them to write it down.
that is so fucked up that they were like, hey, we never let black people into this school.
Yeah.
How about we at least give them credit? Say maybe they
And some
might
random
have
listicle.
maybe once they brought a meteorite. That's fine. I'm fine. Is everyone else okay with that?
They showed
It's
up
so
with the
fucking
meteorite, so
mean.
that's pretty important. It's like the
It's so
racism knows
fucked
no
up.
bounds. It
It's
truly
no,
does not.
not at that university. No, it doesn't.
Oh, Purdue.
We'll
Yeah.
we'll let pig vomit into the school, but we're not. That's so fucking
You're like, well,
rude.
we have this piece of pig vomit, but no.
Yeah.
Um,
Oh,
all right, and the
next story.
final one, number one, shark brings up tattooed arm sparks murder investigation. An intriguing tale of tattoos, murder, and shark vomit. Attendees at the Coogee Aquarium in Sydney on April 25th, 1935 were shocked to see a tiger shark throwing up a human arm. A distinctive tattoo of two fighters identified the victim as James Jimmy Smith. Jimmy was an amateur boxer, but he became known for his connections with Sydney's criminal underworld. He and drug smuggler Reginald Holmes had recently fallen out over a scam. The last time Jimmy was seen alive, he was drinking and gambling with another seedy character, Patrick Brady. At some point soon after, it's believed Jimmy was murdered, his body chopped up and thrown into Gunnamatta Bay as a Sydney send-off. A tiger shark gobbled up the arm, only to be caught and taken off to the aquarium.
And she's not saying it wrong. It does say Guatemala. And I can't imagine being in Guatemala and calling someone and being like, where are you? Like, I'm in Guatemala. And I'm like, I'm in Guatemala. And they're like, well, that's not right at all.
Or you're like, no, I'm in Guantanamo. I said
I mean,
Guantanamo.
God fucking damn it. Okay, I'm getting black. I'm getting back on the plane. I'm getting back.
Police were now becoming increasingly suspicious of these two Brady and Holmes. On May 20th, a disturbed Holmes ventured out in his speedboat with a gun and tried to end his life. Classic guilty. Anybody on a speedboat after any sort of murder suspicion, anytime I'm watching a documentary, a guy goes on a boat, you're like, what are you doing on a boat? What are
Yeah,
you doing on a
yes,
boat?
you're either you better go tubing or get the fuck
You
off
can
the boat.
tubing is perfectly acceptable. That's a
It
leisure
only
activity. A
yes,
any kind of boat is because you need to get rid of a body or you're going to
yes,
become a body or you're
yes.
trying to escape international waters. You're like
Yeah.
not
Or you have a big fat body and you own a boat. That's it's all bad with bodies.
it's all bad. And so he failed and ended up in a panicked police chase around the harbor. Can you imagine he had the kind of gun that like you have to load with like the little tap down thing to like
Yes.
get it in the
Oh my God.
you're like, hold on, I got this one bullet. I'm trying to drive the boat too. It's 1940,
Yes.
42 or whatever, 1935 or whatever this is.
Yeah.
And then he misfires because he hits a wave. He hits a
Yeah.
wake and fucking, oh,
God
damn it. That
damn
was
it.
my only bullet.
That sucks.
I don't have
Oh
time to
my
pack
God.
another one. Holmes and Brady both blamed each other for the murder, but on the day of the court case,
He did it.
Holmes wound up with 3 bullets in his chest. Although many suspect Brady, the murder of Jimmy Smith remains unsolved. Well, they
Well,
don't know.
yeah.
What?
If he had 3 bullets in his chest, did he try throwing them up?
Did he happen to throw up at any point when he got these bullets? I
It
was going to say, no one will ever know if it was the black guy or not that showed up with a meteorite.
was so important that they put that in there.
It was the most unnecessary sentence.
The whole thing it just came down to that. I'm so glad that we found that.
They could have just been like, no, nobody knew who it was. After 2 years of sleuthing, they still could have done this paragraph. They didn't need to know that the sleuthing
it's
was
like-
because they were black.
Because also it's like, why would they put that? It's like they don't just say they don't know who it is. Because let's say they find out, they can't be like, and correction, white guy. Like they can't like,
Correction, Indian guy.
correction, Asian woman found it wherever. That's so it's crazy.
It
It's
was the
so
craziest
yeah.
part of this whole article. Thank you very much.
Yeah, that all the I love
Strange.
the fucking I love thinking about a T-Rex throwing up like a cat, maybe one of my favorite things just that's so fucking that's one of my favorite things ever.
That's so funny. Like,
Yeah.
oh, they're related to birds, so
Yes.
they would baby bird.
Yes. Oh my God. And then dude, oh my God, just all these vomits. I'm glad we
Yes,
talked about it because
a
I
lot of
love a good
vomit
puke.
talk.
Love a good puke.
Thought it was going to be more human. Don't know if I said that already, but we're here
We're
now.
here
We
now.
saw it. Um,
We saw we conquered.
I think this is a pretty interesting article for the viewers. I'm gonna make sure I post these articles going forward when I'm gonna go back, and I said I was gonna do this before. I'm gonna stop my share. I said I was gonna do this before and go back and pin the articles that I use in the descriptions of the podcasts where they're at. So if
Yes.
people want to look at it themselves, I'm I have ADHD task paralysis so bad
Can
that
you
I
do what
want to do things.
copy the link right now and put it on your clipboard.
I have them because they're all in email.
Okay,
I
cool.
always
Yeah.
email it to myself with like the guest's name, so I can just
Yes.
search your name and then it'll come up.
Okay,
But
sick.
I just for don't it's task paralysis. I'm like, oh, but I
I know.
also need to do this and that, and then I just do nothing for
Yep.
days sometimes.
Yes.
ADHD, it's a bitch, and I
It's
think
real.
it's very real, and I think it's a very okay, like the people that say autism didn't exist and they think it's vaccines or whatever, I think it's conditioning of people's minds to become more compartmentalized, to be able to handle the graphics and data and information we're receiving on a daily basis.
Yeah.
And I've said it on one of the original episodes of this podcast that it's I think largely due to like media and communications where they're like commercializing everything and
Yeah.
just the whole industry of like making everything quick to consume the way TikTok
Yeah.
is now. They went from a 7 second commercial being an interruption in your long show to
Yeah.
you watch 37 7 second videos instead of a show now
Yeah.
sometimes.
Well, because ADHD, if I agree with what you're saying, because it's like I feel like it's probably always been around, and but it's external. It's a way to do things to get stuff done, but they figured out a way to kind of like I guess not militarize it, but like use it against you as ammo because it's the only thing that puts at you what we're supposed to be putting out. Like someone who has ADHD is just like, I got to get this done, I got to get this done. But then we have all these like tasks that we're like, fuck, I have to try to focus on this. Where it's like, I feel like whenever I'm like, when I'm on the road doing comedy, which is free as you can, my ADHD takes me amazing places. I go on a walk. I'm like, oh,
When
I
you're
should go
just doing
eat. And
out and you don't have anywhere to be.
yes,
Yes, I
yes.
love
So
that.
I
Like you're
think
in a
in
new
Nate,
town and you're just like,
yes,
wow.
yes. In nature, it's great. But
Yeah.
yes, I'm the same as you because then all of a sudden you're like, oh, I got to give groceries. Oh, I don't want to go get in my car, be around people, whatever. Okay,
Yeah.
I'll just sit here. Now I'm on these videos. Well, I can't start anything because I'm going to the grocery store in a little bit.
And
Yes. So
yeah.
I agree with you. I think it's conditioning 100%.
And the more like stuff we're on all day long. I'm on 7 different apps minimum on my phone every
Yeah.
day, most of the day.
You ever get out? This is the most ADH gross thing I've ever done. You ever leave, we'll say Instagram. You ever leave Instagram and then you are back in I'm literally
Back in
like,
Instagram, I just
I
liked
literally
someone's
just left
Instagram
it.
story that they shared about doing that like 2 days ago. I think it was
Yes.
Nat.
Yes. I do it.
It's
It's crazy.
I swear on to everything I believe in that they want us, the government largely wants us to be like just little mass consumers, and they have.
Yes.
And it started in the 80s, and everyone underneath, it's just gotten more and more geared to quick, fast, hurry, this, to
Yeah.
give you anxiety. And then you need medicine for anxiety, and you need medicine for ADHD. And the
Yeah.
government industrial medicine complex makes all this money
Yeah.
on people's misfortunes that they essentially sort of created in the guise of look at all this freedom of information and
Yeah.
the plain old computer internet was good. I
Oh,
love this.
yeah.
I love being able to zoom you from Austin, Texas right now and record this podcast with someone I might not be able to otherwise because it was so hard for us to meet up in general. It's not
Yeah.
just you. The best podcast guests have been impossible to narrow down and then I've had things happen, but it's just divine timing from the universe or God or whatever you want to
Yeah.
call it. And it's the right timing. But you know, I think it's a lot of just making sure that we're in a sort of a controlled state, and there's
Yeah.
proof that TikToks mess with your emotions because if you get into a sad, you start watching
Yeah.
sad things, it'll just feed you more sad content and just kind of like addict you to that. So you have to
Yes.
purposely go and find things. And I
Yep.
do it because I mostly try to look at funny things, but then there's like, a thing about relationships falling apart or whatever.
Yes.
And
But for
it's
me, it'll be like it'll I do the same thing. It'll be like a sick kid,
I
and
see
I'm
that.
like,
Yeah, sure.
oh my, oh
Yeah.
fuck, yeah. And then I'm like, and then it makes me feel bad because I'm doing a lot of things. I feel grateful for my life, but then
Yes.
and I feel bad that I'm pitying someone.
Yeah.
And I was just talking about this. And I was like, it just yeah, that'll send me in a thing too. So I try to remind myself that like. I try to remind myself there was a time where I didn't have to just touch my phone, and it's we all know it. But what's crazy is that it's so addictive that all of our parents who would tell us that our phone, they're like, your face is, they use it exactly like we do. That's how fucking addictive it is. And
It's
none of us can do anything about it. We're all caught in it. The only person that I physically know who actually is good at it is the guitar player from Story of the Year. And he uses this quote. He goes, I post and I ghost. Legitimately. He
I
posts
kind of do that.
and then
Yeah,
gets off.
sometimes.
And
Yeah.
I would kill to do that. I literally went to make a post the other day and then was laying down, biting my nails, watching videos. I'm like, what the fuck? I got on here to do my job or whatever.
I understand. And like I try not to get I've done that for a long time too on Instagram, especially I post, then I kind of just get off there. Now TikTok has a weird thing in its algorithm where they watch you, and if you don't stay for like a few minutes after you post something, they don't push your shit out.
I've always conspiracy wondered
It's
that because
real.
I've wondered that because I've also wondered this. If you post something, I'm like, well, wait, does it matter if I share it first to Instagram or TikTok? Like, do they know? I was like, I think about all that little shit. And then I'm like, wait, does it know that I'm checking? Does it know that I'm care that I'm getting? Like, I think
Yeah.
about all those. I have no idea. And we're all guessing. None of
Nobody
us
really
know.
knows. But yeah, I've been seeing more and more videos of where they're telling you they're paying attention if you're just scrolling or if you're interacting. So
Yes.
to get your views up if they're low, they're saying like interact with stuff. After you post, they say don't leave the app. Even if you
Yeah.
don't want to interact that day, just post and like don't close the app out right away. Like set
I
your phone
know.
down with it
What?
open and let it
Yes.
because then it registers on all the servers across the world. Because you might
Yes.
click out immediately, but it might not be uploaded fully wherever,
Yeah.
Australia or wherever the fuck yet, because the
And
time difference or
do you
something.
get this? This seems ADHD, but maybe I'm just trying to shoe into the conversation.
Yeah, at this point.
But I don't know, but I don't know if
Just
it
tell me
is.
what it is and I'll give you help. I'm good at guiding
Yeah,
people.
I feel like whenever I posted the other day, and then on TikTok I literally posted shit underwear. That's the one that does well. It gets like a
That
hundred
no, and
forty thousand.
ask any comedian, the some dumb shit that you it was 2 seconds of
Yeah,
here's what people want on TikTok is reality.
yeah, I
It
know, and that's why I shared it. And as soon as I did that, then as soon as I started getting all these comments and likes, and I
yeah.
literally was like, I don't want to be bothered. I'll save that for later. I'm like, why connect with the out? It's why you put the posts out there.
I
So
know.
I feel
And
like
then
that's
you're supposed you
ADHD.
should
Yeah.
no, that's a little OCD more. That's a little maybe
Oh,
more
interesting. Yeah.
thinking, obsessing about what someone
Yeah.
else's reaction to your lack of reaction or not. And I'm not a
Yeah.
therapist, but I'm pretty good at identifying where things stem from because I know
It's a
people that
good
have
yeah.
all those, and what recognize within myself. It's some kind of mix in there of like, but more so you're recognizing that you're doing it, um, is important. I think.
I think so too.
Um, what was I going to say about that? Um, the content with posting, you're supposed to like their comments and stuff, even though I don't want to
Yes.
always reply to, I try to be nice to people in the comments or at least
Yes.
funny. But content is like this whole other thing that's like different than comedy, and it's such a weird
It
because
became a
I'll
part of
work
our
on
world.
something
Yeah.
like you're saying, I'll work on a video. It will take me 90 minutes to fucking edit
Yeah.
different things that I wanted exactly perfect with the captions and to make it look good. And it'll get okay, a good amount
Yeah.
of views or something. And then some stupid shit that I made in 1 second. And it's
Yeah.
just a nice photo of me with
Yes.
some the right words and text because it's all about the text that you use on the screen
Yeah. Yeah.
in TikTok and it whatever 100,000 views or some shit the most I ever
Yeah.
got on something like you know what I
Yeah.
mean and it's
Yes.
like over there because I have shit on Instagram that has 80,000 views or something but like it's like also the dumbest fucking things
Yeah. And then I learned that
and
I'm like, oh, I'm gonna post shit underwear all the time. I can't. I didn't know my job was gonna
well
be this
well
easy.
I just I transitioned from what I used to always do on like kind of like stories on Instagram all the time every day for a long
Yeah.
time. I transitioned to doing some of those as TikToks now
Yes.
and I
See,
post a little less
I
on
did
there
the exact
instead.
same thing because I was like, well, if you're, you have all these like stupid reasonings for doing something. I'm like, why wouldn't I just share that?
It's just
I do
every
the same.
single day I used to post something, three things usually
Yes.
on it because the rule is in
Yeah.
threes.
I tried between the when we were recording on like the second or third one or whatever. I was like, let me see if I can get a post up, and I was trying to do it because I try to remind myself because also you think like whenever you post, you're like, oh, this might not be that funny, or like then it won't get put in the algorithm. Like just make something and
Yeah.
see if it falls off the fridge. Just make dumb art and see if it falls off the fridge. Because it's also so much better whenever you get to do something that's honest on your story that you share. Then I've tried to do something that I'll be like, maybe this is what people want to see. Whatever
Yeah.
is
And then
legit.
it's
It's the stupidest stuff. You're like, oh, I guess that's easier. Like it's
yeah.
I'm trying to that's what I was saying earlier because I was like I do try to play with it more because I'm like, oh, if I can do this, that's what I want to do more anyways. Like I like being on stage, but one drunk person can ruin it way more than a person commenting on it can ruin it for me. I'm just like that sucks, but at least a bunch of people like this. So who gives a fuck? Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, you're not a woman on the internet, so no, those comments are not really going to get to
I
you
didn't
too
want to. I didn't
much.
want to bring it up until you did, but yeah, my friend, yeah, Cactus, she was like, I posted a video and the did not deserve any of the comments she was getting. So
Yeah.
I do the comments you guys get is yeah,
It's
it's
crazy. But to be fair, I don't bomb and I don't get heckled. So I don't
yeah,
usually because I'm just making people laugh as soon as I step on the stage anymore.
yeah,
And
good,
I know how to deal with hecklers. I know how to shut them down
yeah,
mentally and emotionally.
yeah,
um no, that's it's an interesting world and I'm trying to dip my toes over. I've been on it since COVID, since it came out, and I just, kind of figured out, learned the algorithm. I helped somebody blow up like this year, like I
oh
helped a
nice,
friend. And it's not hard. It just depends on what you want to do. Like you said, I just
yeah,
like tossing random shit out there. Sometimes TikTok doesn't like that, so you have to like curate it a little
yeah.
bit. But
Well, and also sometimes being like, because I'm a little old school in that way too, where I'm like, sometimes I want to not be on the internet. Like,
yeah, no.
so then I
Like put
try
your
not
phone away
to.
like you said. Like I want to put
Yes.
my phone away.
Yeah. So it's a whole, it is we kind of live in that world where it's like we get to be the guys that are like, yeah, here's what you should do. But they're like, but don't do what I do. And then you kind of do it. You kind of fall back into it a lot. So I try to not be an old fuddy duddy as much as I
Yeah, no,
can.
like we talked about with the bands.
Yes.
And it's important to change with the times. And I genuinely like TikTok. It's like just strangers that are just reacting with my content instead of me
Yes.
posting for like 1,000 comedians I know.
Yes.
Like I have 1,000 followers plus 1,000 comedians I know on Instagram, or give or take
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
500 odd people in there, whatever.
Yeah.
But so I switch up. I try not to always post the same thing, but it's all just content to me. That's why, like when you said, "Oh, you're on Twitter," yeah, I just put a dumb thing up there every five
Yeah.
days or something. I used to be on it a lot more, but
Yeah.
it's kind of just like
Well, people want to see you. You back in the day, it used to be like you're like I want them to see me as a comedian. But
what
now
I'm
it's like
writing. Yeah,
yeah, but now
yeah,
it's like you get to see me as a person, which I like. I love writing jokes, but I there's nothing better than when you just a good riff in the moment. It's so much better than when you can have to keep trying to create it. Whenever it's something that should just exist like disposably or whatever. It's
yeah, and
just
that's
something that's
why,
fun in the
yeah,
moment. Yeah,
I still love, like you said, like being on stage, even though there can be a heckler or whatever, versus doing the filmed content too. Like I'm
cutting
gonna
out,
do both.
cutting out.
No,
Yeah,
on stage. Hear me?
yeah,
Okay. So like on stage versus filmed content is so different. I like, the feeling of doing the live stuff. And it's not the same with having a crowd in front of you as sitting in front of a live recording like this, where you're like,
yes,
if there's not, because I remember doing Zoom shows and they were brutal. And it was because you couldn't see the crowd sometimes. It would just be like this with like two comics next to each other. And you're like, so then I went to the grocery store and I tried to,
dude. We
you
we
know,
did fucking Zoom improv. Oh
oh,
my god! I would literally get off because we would do
nightmare.
it weekly, and
Oh, God.
my girlfriend because it was like during COVID, and I would get off, and I remember I would go like this and shut my laptop, and my girlfriend would come around the corner, and she'd be like, "How was it?" And I'm like, "It was fucking not great."
It was
It's
not
like,
great. Anytime somebody asked me to do something, I was like, yes, just so I can do something. I'm home.
yes,
I just can't go
yes,
anywhere. I was
yes,
healing from the kidney transplant at the time, so especially
yes,
then, I'm like, yes, please, anything I can do. But then I had to like
yes,
two roast battles, and the second one was so brutal.
yeah. I
It
started
was
making
so brutal.
dude, I started making cameos for cats. It was a
Oh
low,
God,
it was a low point for all of us.
it was a little bit. We all thought we were gonna die and not have any kind of semblance of a career left.
Yeah,
That we all worked for because I was already 5 years in at that point. So then I'm like,
yeah.
you know what I mean? Do I give up? I just started hosting at clubs.
I
Like,
know. It was such a weird. I was thinking about going back to being a firefighter. I was going to go try to be a smoke jumper. I was literally looking up like
yeah.
applications and I was like, I really hope these comedy clubs open back up because I do not want to. I'm like, I'm just like my femur's broken and I'm like, I used to do comedy before that. I broke my femur in front of you guys.
Yeah, no, I trust me. All right, so we only have a few minutes left. We made it somehow
Okay.
through another whole session. I
We had
forgot.
so much fun.
I forgot earlier we didn't talk about my one thing that I always used to make people bring me because you didn't bring me a story, right? We never got. We just
Well, we kept
talked about
talking,
throw up.
and then we got sick, and then yeah, I think we got a little
That's
bit
fine
fucked
because
up.
we
Yes.
had enough. I
Yes.
think we had enough based on just us having being sick. But
Yeah.
I like to talk about like stonery late night weird food combinations or little snacks that you might like to eat
Yes.
that are your like what you think might be like like something I've never tried or something I should try or like
Yeah.
I-
Oh
I'm
God,
trying
that
to
is
think
the
of the
best
last. Oh, okay, so
questions.
what I had yesterday was even if it's prepackaged, somebody told me about ramen chips one time, and I saw them at the Asian store, and somebody sent me a picture of them. I still
Yeah.
haven't tried them, but like okay, so I had speaking of Asian last night, like the rice sticks. Do you know what those are? They're
No.
like this long, and they're the width of like that, like a finger kind of, and it's
Yeah.
like just rice.
Oh, and it's like
It's
rolled
like
up.
it's like a tube. It's like a
Yeah.
tube, and
Yeah.
it's
Yeah.
like just like a little like a noodle, but a thick noodle. And you mix them with the sauce. It's like a red tomatoey kind of spicy sauce. And one of them
Yeah.
has cheese in it. It's called tteokbokki. I don't know if I'm saying it right.
Yeah.
But they're really good, and I had that last night for dinner because I got one at the Asian supermarket when I went with my
Oh,
friend.
yeah. That sounds good
Um,
as fuck.
it was so good. I want one right now so bad because I didn't really eat
Yes.
dinner.
Oh yeah. I'll tell you my this is my I'll tell you my favorite stoner one, and then I'll tell you like a pre-pack. Well, they're both pre-packaged,
Yeah, it's
and
fine.
because I'm a big foodie, I'm so like I got so excited by the question I can't even think of things except for these
I
two. But the first one is I live for this shit. Ice cream, choose your own. It's not really important.
okay.
I'm a big cookie dough guy,
Okay.
but cookie dough and then the shell chocolate over
Oh,
the
that you
top
heat
that
up in like the
hardens. No,
microwave.
you don't heat it up. It cools.
Oh,
You put it over the
it
top.
just
It just
solids by
hard. It
itself.
yes.
Okay.
That and then you eat that and you try to save up all the chocolate for the end. Live for that. And then this one I love. I remember the when I found brownie brittle, I could not stop eating and the praline pecans from fucking Costco. I will get
Oh,
a
I
belly.
do. I got some like some kind of pecans at Aldi the other day that were like candied for
And
like
I kept being like,
Thanksgiving.
"Well, I'm eating nuts," and I'm
I'm
like, "Yeah,
eating nuts. They're
but they're
covered in sugar.
yes." And then this I brownie brittle I love, and I will
Yeah.
say this
Okay.
any time, and I don't even know if this is legal anymore, but anytime if I would buy a girl a Plan B in America, I don't know if you can buy them, but I bought anytime I would buy a girl a Plan B, which is a side note, I've told guys this, and they'll be like, "Yeah, me and a girl split a Plan B," and I go, "You made her pay for it?"
It's
And they're
crazy.
like, "Yeah," and I go, "You got a lot of benefits and not a tummy ache." I was like, "I pay for all of it." And I was like, it's not, and I know this isn't like a thing. I wouldn't do it regularly, but if a girl, it's an accident. If I ever did it, yeah, anytime if it's like a girlfriend or whatever, I would also get them that and a thing of brownie brittle because I'm like, I feel bad your tummy's gonna
And the
hurt.
thing of brownie
Yes, and
brittle.
a thing of brownie brittle because I was like, this is
Nice.
a sweet treat. And I had this girl message. She was like, I still think about that brownie brittle. Something I
That's
was like, because guys would literally split it with me. She was like, they never thought to get me chocolate. But I was like,
no.
because I was always just like, yeah, this sucks that like you, if this
You
is
even
not
have to
fun, this
try to
sucks that you have to
happen.
take it.
Yeah, to
Yes.
take it. It's a medicine. It's yeah, whole
Yeah.
thing. That's funny because like I don't know. I guess it's situational in that case. If the chick was like, don't, you know, don't pull out or what, like,
Yes. Well, and I feel like even in that situation,
yeah,
I still that's what I'm saying. I still want to pay because I definitely
still
got
up
like
to the
you're still
still
gonna
up
have a
to the
stomach.
guy. It's
Yes.
still up to the guy.
I think we should pay for it. I'm like, we're the ones that we had a great day. I can spend 50 and you wanted to I'll tell you this, even this is something girls disagree with me on. Guys will be like, and I get the generic one. I go, I'll spend 10 extra dollars just just to make sure that this thing
Yeah,
works.
I
Oh my
mean,
God.
you're a
Yeah.
nice person for that because
Oh
there's
yeah, yeah. Well, they were nice enough to let us have them as whatever happens, happens.
I feel like most men are like, what? This is feminism. You wanted to split everything 50-50.
Yeah,
Like
no, yeah. I don't know about
you're
that.
truly old school.
Yes, very old school.
Um, yeah. So, all right. Well, now I'm gonna go make some weird snacks.
Oh, I'm gonna go eat like a monster. I'm gonna go make homemade ranch. I do that. That's
Okay,
fucking
there you go.
uh-huh.
That's a thing. What do you use the
Yes.
powder or like what do you do?
I used to use the powder, but I'm too poor, don't have it. So I've been doing the
Okay.
poor man. I do Greek yogurt,
Okay.
mayonnaise, a little bit of
Okay.
mustard, a little bit of pickle juice, garlic salt, a little bit of salt, pepper. Mix that up. That's a good enough base that for a
If you're
high guy like
just,
me,
yeah, you just dipping something in it.
yes,
A lot of
beautiful.
people would fight you for saying the mustard in there.
Yeah, no, I know, and I swear to God, if anyone who argues about food, I'll easily eat you. I'll fucking eat
I'll eat
you.
you.
Yes.
I will cannibalize your ass.
Yeah, dude.
You don't know me.
You don't know me at all.
I've said that
Oh,
many times in my
yeah.
life. All right. On that note, Bobby, at Bobby Jaycox on everything.
Yep.
Discombobulated, we mentioned that. I'll put it in the description. I'll
Thank
pin
you.
the article to the strange animals. Hopefully the videos load for you
Yes.
guys.
And I want to have you on the podcast when I'm in Philly next, or you come to Austin. Please come to Austin. I can't wait
Yes,
to see you. Yes.
absolutely. It's in my plans. We're
Yes.
manifesting.